Oh man. Hey, what's happening? What's happening out there? I'll cut it out.
Five, four, three, two.
Are you guys ready up there? Okay, just give me a second. All right. All right, quiet on the set.
Ow! Peace and blessings of the both side of balance. Omni versus multiverses, tri versus dual versus and universes be upon you all in earshot and eye shot of the God. It's your friendly neighborhood Pharaoh Shepsi's Dwamu Tefah Moon. And welcome to another episode of Revision Radio, where we seek, analyze, and break down right knowledge, wisdom, overstanding, right thinking, right reasoning, and right action from the third eye point of view. Appreciate y'all for joining me, man. I hope everybody's doing well out there. And it's Freestyle Fridays, all right? We know we rebooting out here, man. Freestyle Fridays, I think what we doing for Freestyle Fridays is basically whatever's going on in your mind's mind. I'm going to put the link inside the chat, and anybody that want to add on and build, y'all can come on, ask questions, do comments from old prior shows, suggestions on the platform, whatever the case may be. Yesterday was a hell of a hit. And we still going through it. That's how real it is. We still going through it. So before of course, I see you Halif on there, you know. Before we get in, you know, I'm gonna read some stuff with the master. September 24th, Jules from Maku, you know, daily hits in Maku. How y'all doing out there, man? Blessed and highly favored, living a great and dreadful day of the Lord. Okay, today's word of wisdom is giving is good if you really mean it. Bible. If you really mean it, then giving is good. But you know a lot of niggas be giving for show. And that's the problem. You know, that's the type of stuff that disqualify, you know, what it's supposed to be, because, you know, people showing off. I know some people that will confuse you, man. I mean, they will confuse you because of their constant contradictions, you know? Yeah. So giving is good if you really mean it. That's what the master said. What else we got for the day in our revolutionary calendar? Calendar for revolutionary thoughts. You know, I'm on this every day too. You know, we got, you know, the Mukas be using a little daily affirmations and all that. We got to get ours into. This is from Marie Evans. And oppressed people whose dreams are dependent upon the illusions they harbor and protect have to contradict themselves and the values which mold their behavior and shape their lives if they are to teach their young that freedom is also concrete, liberation possible, and struggle imperative. I will first, who that? Wife, I mean, right back, mama. All right. Our first and foremost responsibility as powerful ancestor beholden African adults is to pass that power and responsibility on to our children. Hit the AC for me when you get a chance. Our charge is to teach them how to define, create, and handle their and our power and responsibility, use it to serve Africans. We can only be successful if we provide them with a safe space to thrive and are consistently uncompromising in teaching by word and action them our truth, right? There are no excuses for failing them. We must be committed to save our children from the rabid wolves that prey on their minds and bodies. Our commitment must be stronger than ever before because the enemy is more afraid and more determined than ever before. And so many of us have unconsciously chosen the least confrontational route to survival for themselves and their children. In victory, our commitment must be uncompromising and consistent. We must find ways to increase the levels of active commitment individually and for each complementary couple. We do not have time to play with our destruction. Affirm, I am teaching African children how to define, create, and handle their and our power and responsibly use it to serve Africans. The sister's ready for go. The sister is ready for go. Y'all read that? That was fire. That was beautiful. Yeah, we ain't playing. And that just bring me to Baba Yanun's and the because I was gonna read a verse from the 9, but I'm gonna read Save the Children from the 9. It comes after the deceiver's origin. Where is it at? The alien with us? No, it's earlier than that. Yeah, save the ones who are children. Aklus pa mukradu. My beloved Nuwapians, family and tribe, who announce they are of the family and tribe. Stop and desist from thinking about yourselves and think about the children of Wunuwap. Think about their fate in order to arrive to their future lives. Like all others, they now have their own language, Nuwapic, Ispatic, or Sabaic. Like all others, they now have their own religion, Wusbatia, Wunuwap, Wusabat. Like all others, they now have their own dance, music, Masak. Like all others, they now have their own way of life. Like all others, they now have their own dress, Milbaz. Like all others, they had their own city that was Tamaray, that was illegally, unlawfully confiscated by the savages. All this was given, restored from Baba Yanun for you all, but put the children first. Save the children. This is what the master said. What else? I'll read that at the end. I'll read a page from from Maxims. Maxims, right, it says, this is page 34 in the Maxims of Yanun. Stay in touch with me doesn't mean touch me. Should those children born with disease still trust God, and why? Meditate as often as possible because it prevents mischief. So God's only way to feed a lion is to have him kill a baby deer? As a baby emerges from the womb of his mother into this world of experiences, unfamiliar of its lowly ways, void of differences and unaware of the three-dimensional worlds, so you enter into this order and open yourself to the wisdom of divine love in this new world of Wunuwap. I'm definitely jacking that. The end of one thing is the beginning of another. I see the beauty of Wunuwap when I see what it has done for you. It's all about the right actions, y'all. Because a thing is done a second time does not mean it is correct. Don't think all words between two covers are wisdom. Many fools write books for profit. Muslims feel they have the right to slander others, yet don't want to be asked about their religion. Facts. It's a sin to call another a sinner. How can I show you're wrong? How can I show you are wrong if you won't look? You cannot seek inside and outside at the same time. Okay. So what's happening? What's happening? Anybody got some guys about some shout outs? This is here. Who on deck? We got Halif on deck. What up? We got comments, brothers. This brothers is here. Raul Bat Israel, Raul Bat John Saney, Raul Bat Mahatsui, Miss Infinity 9, Raul Bat. Listen, yo, we this is a Freestyle Friday, right? This is like an open line. So I guess like next week we're gonna get a phone. We're gonna get a phone number specifically for the line for the show, and we going in like that. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that want to Khalil Raul Bat, beloved. Okay. Those congas Raul Bat. Halif is on deck. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna put even the link on in the chat room. Mama Raul Bat Nefera. We can put the link in the chat room so anybody that's interested, anybody got any anything that they want to build on, any questions, any advertisements, anything they want to, you know. It's on y'all. So this is like a recap, you know. Excuse me, the water went down the wrong pipe, but I'm gonna still keep drinking it. Anybody got anything they want to build on? Halif, what up? Raul Bat, what's going on?
Raul Bat, man.
What's happening with you?
Taking
So
his life.
you got I spoke to the brother today from that was Nevins and Flatbush Extension.
What's up?
He said he listened to the show and he was like, yo, he was listening. He was like, who they talking about? He said, yo, I thought I was the one who. He said, who they talking about? And then he started putting it together. He was like, oh, they are talking about me. Yeah, that was funny. He was like, yo, who they talking about? Who they said, I'm going to put that nigga in here. What you talking about? But he was like, yo, he said, he said, oh, I appreciate y'all wasn't putting names out. That's cool.
Right.
I said, well, we wasn't, but everybody didn't get the memo.
They jumping in, right? Pow.
Get him. It was looking like the Batman, the old Batman. Bam, boom,
right? Pow.
It's like, whoa. Every time they did it, it was like, ooh. Yeah, it was this, man. This. Oh, hey, man. And I got, I listen, my wife spoke to Harker Bay. We emailed to Harker Bay. I called to Harker Bay and left messages. He never called me back, but he did send a message today that basically said anybody is invited onto his platform that's respectful and that's interested in basically unifying the people regardless of.
Is he willing to come to your platform?
We got. I don't know because we can't get a conversation in. So that's one of those things. I'm like, you know what? We'll work on it.
Right.
I got some brothers. I got things lined up. I got some people that got hundreds of thousands of followers that they're interested in coming to the platform. So I'm like, whatever.
I was talking to one of the brothers earlier today, and we was going over, the show from yesterday, and he actually said that he might be listening right now, but he said he's at work. He'll be at work until about 11. The brother who jumped in on the show the night before and started going in. Good.
Which one? Which one? Asar or E King?
No, the night before.
Kafuz.
I know they were on the show too.
We had Kafuz.
Yeah, I was talking with him earlier.
Yeah.
You know, his sentiments was like, listen, man, he been listening to a lot of people, you know, and I'm pretty sure, you know, I don't talk to much people in the tribe, but you know, we all know, you know, with the what's going on social media, pretty much, right? And we
Yeah, I
know
got you. I got you.
we're like a big target. So his thing was like, yo, you know, are we gonna get a group of, you know, people to, you know, go out and actually start dispelling a lot of these um false narratives that are being perpetrated against us. You know, he got the sentiment to where he ready to start, you know, getting in on the situation and start, you know, correcting and setting the record straight about a lot of these allegations or accusations that are being made against us. You know, against the master and
I agree.
against the
I mean,
tribe. Yeah.
I thought that look, if you go on pettynupu.org, he got 4 5 hour long videos. Who's Dr. York and what is his purpose? He got whole video like on Baba's case, breaking out everything from soup to nuts. Like we have the ammo.
That's a
Um,
fact.
so it's really about us taking the time, and even with the platform, because we cover more ground in social media world. And this is why I like it. This is my approach. Even though we got to do things in real time, person to person, on the
Right.
streets,
Right.
this is a lot of people ego and arrogance and shame prevents them from interacting with you in real time. But you could put the ideas and the thoughts and the builds online, and they could look at it from the privacy of their own home, and they could go through it without being scrutinized. You see what I'm saying? And now, so we giving them the opportunity to learn and go back through and cross-reference without being, you know, shamed and being exposed for following them knucklehead niggas that don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, you still could come home. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. That nigga was on the stage. You was just part of the crowd. You could just come on in. Just come in and ask questions and get the answers. That's it. You know? So
Pretty much.
like I seen I was in one of Petty's class on nupu.org, and one of the Noonie Boo sisters was in there.
Oh, really?
She came in there.
She asked questions?
First, she came in there hostile. Yo, what is you talking about? What you know what? I got a question. And Petty was like, look, this is a place of love. Sis, you sound like you ready to go to war. He was like, whatever questions you have, we are willing to answer. So then she said, her response was, okay, I'm going to wait to the end. Let me see what you say first. By the time he got to the end, she was like, okay, it wasn't about nothing. We ain't got, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
yeah. You know, so it's like they have these misunderstandings of what we're doing. And really, them specifically, I don't even know what their issue is. It's like, you want to take a dead man and totally rewrite what he said, and then come and use that as a weapon to weaponize his message against the master. Like, that's amazing. You know, people just wanting a position in history is always an issue. You know, that's major, man. So yeah, we here, man. Brother Israel. Okay, I see you. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, send me put up your email, God, and I'll send you a link. Yeah, I sent Ron Do, I sent E King, CeeLo's Congas is the elder.
Yeah. He go back to 70 something.
Yeah.
Early
I thought that
70s.
was the elders. Listen, I'm trying to, God, send me your email so I can put you in the mix, so you can walk us through.
That's a fact.
You can walk us through. You heard me, Elder. CeeLo. Yeah. Yeah, give me put your email up so I can Send you the link, Elder. You too, Israel. You come through. This is Freestyle Friday. This is what we do on Freestyle Fridays. I was gonna do some I'm doing throwbacks because a lot of people, man, I was looking at the video I did yesterday that we was doing, and I was just like, I be hoping I don't be sound too raw sometimes, because I just wanted to make a clarification, because people be talking that weirdo stuff concerning us, and I'm like, bro, like we the furthest from stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. I'm sitting there, we here, like, nigga, we play ball, nigga, like we play spades, nigga. We niggas, like.
We from the community like everybody else. We from the hood, right?
Yeah, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't get it, bro. I don't understand what this other stuff that they be seeing. And I just wanted to give clarity to where we stood insofar as any kind of funny business, between like when it was, the sister was so insinuating that we're a culture that allow this type of stuff to happen, right? And I'm like, sis, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but around here between Yamini and Westwood, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would, on deck. Honestly, if we were there and we knew this, like, nah, bro, we talking black van interrogation stuff. They're gonna be on such and such, such and such. That's how we talking. Matter of fact, if the master wasn't as merciful as he is, 99.9% of these niggas would have had niggas coming to their door like the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's a fact. How you doing? No, I heard you talking on the thing yesterday. I wanted to. No, bro. Who you calling? I know you ain't calling the devil, bro. You calling the white man? You was Black Power, nigga. Open the door. You know what I'm saying? That's that type of move we on. Like, where he going, bro? He said come through. We got an issue. We got an issue.
Hey.
That's the type of time we on. But I'm into handling things behind the scenes, and because we want our people to win. And the way things is happening now, it's not how we win. I like, reason I'm on here so late right now, because a brother called me up at 8:00, and I'm like, bro, I'm about to go on right now, and he just wouldn't stop. Kahil Low, you know who that is, right? Called me. I was like, God, I'm trying to go on. But one of the things I said to him was, I said, God, look, my issue with, like, I got love for Assassin and them down the dial. I said, yo, but the way they move was wrong. Because the first thing I do is related to some strategy, war strategy, street stuff. And I'm like, you don't do that. You don't alarm your enemy that they got problems like that. That's not how that go. You don't go make all that noise. Yo, we have to. Nah. You do like Puff did. Like, nah, we don't want no problems with nobody. We're puffing it with beef. Yo, we don't want no problems with nobody, man. We just got all love. That's how you talk to the people. We got all love, man. I want the best for them. And then shit happens in the street. That's how that go. Like, not from us, but just karma. Let's say that. Whoever that nigga is. Karma got mad bodies. But yeah, I'm gonna bring up my hot tweet. I sent you a link too.
Wow.
Yeah, hold on. What? So let me give a shout out to all the people first. Let me see me shout out. Okay, I said Nefarious Scent. I said John Saney right back. My hot tweet, Miss Infinity 9, Kahil Low, CeeLo's congas. You better be playing them congas too. Kafus. Israel right back. Yeah, CeeLo, I'm gonna hit y'all with the joint after the chant. We got chant it. I like to do the chant. You know why? Because it recalibrates the energy. Because sometimes I'll be on some nigga-ish. I'll be on some nigga stuff. They be kicking in. And I'm trying to purge. That's why I told you we got to have like a day where we talk about all that stuff. Get it out. We got to talk about free lunch. Y'all niggas know about free lunch? We got to talk about that. We got to talk about, we got to talk about packing bags and key food and all that. You know what I'm saying? We got to go back there with it. Got to talk about when that crack destroyed and devastated the hood. Kahilo. Yeah, I got you. Who else? Kafuz. Oh, Zoza, Raul Bad, beloved. What's going on, beloved?
Papoose came in the building.
Yeah, Kafuz is here. Zoza's on deck too. That's what's up. Yeah. Now you gotta. I know you play the congas. I know you gotta play that. But yeah, we gotta talk about that stuff because we still be going through it, and we gotta purge that out of our system, just like we gotta purge a lot of that Mukasu, all that Mukasu stuff out of our system. Like, I asked you a question. Like, I asked the family the question. Hey, I want to expose, put it out there. What's your hidden white, like favorite white show or white movie or white song? Because all y'all niggas got one. I know it. I know y'all got some shit that you hear, you be like, oh shit. I know because we've been on the plantation that long. Also, when you be working for these packers, you go in their spot, they not playing our music. They playing their music all. I ain't send a link, God. I'm gonna send a link right after the chant.
The chant is now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send a link right after the chant. Kafu said November rain. See what I'm saying? It's going down. This is the reality, bro. My wife said, why you in my business? You was just here talking about Fred Astaire earlier. Don't get me to blow you up in front of the people.
Man. I'm a valley girl.
Guns and Roses, you see?
I ain't got
Look, they said Teen Titans. I'm gonna give you mine. I'm gonna put the big screen on. Look, nigga. I don't care what you say. Nigga, I love Grease. John Travolta shit. You the one, you want the one, ooh, ooh, ooh. That's my shit right there.
Yo, you don't even know. School dropout.
Oh, that's my shit. That beauty school dropout, nigga. Somebody need to redo that. We gotta hip hop that shit out. Nigga, y'all ain't look at Grease? Grease was the shit. Grease is the word, it's the word, it's the word. I'm looking at that shit tonight.
No, you are not. I'm only kidding. I love it.
Nah, listen, you gotta get it out. It's real. I remember Baba said, his favorite artist was David Bowie.
That's a fact. Yeah.
He said, oh, y'all don't like it? Oh, I'm an Uncle Tom? He said, well, if I'm an Uncle Tom, I'm L Uncle Tom. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, man. Yeah, we got like what, 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
All right. Yeah, we on the chant time, God. Saturday Night Fever. See, come on out with it. Don't do that. Don't be hiding back there acting like that. Because heart to heart, real talk, because this is the things that if you don't come out with it now, it's gonna come out at the wrong time when you're supposed to make that decision for the people. And then you're gonna be like, I know, but I really, really love Care Bears. Nigga, it was not like a Care Bear stare.
You already.
That. 5, 4. We need Care Bears right now. Bobby said, learn to care. They got rid of Care Bears, My Little Pony, Strawberry Shortcake, and they hijacked the rainbow from Rainbow Bright, and now it's the LGBTQ.
Look at you! Wow.
Like,
look at you.
Yo, look. Reverend Jackson can't even use the rainbow no more for Rainbow Push.
Right? No more push.
Rainbow Push means something totally different right now.
Oh my God, really? Oh.
I'm just saying. I without a face. Yeah, we getting this. We purging the Mukasu stuff out of it. It's 8:59. We about to chant. Yeah, we about to chant. We on it. We ain't forget it. It's Friday night. Everybody else getting ready to go to the club. They at the liquor store. We here. We build it with the people, and we looking to exchange the energy, mind and mind. Mind your mind for the jewels of your soul. Isn't that what the God said? I was in the gold book last night because I know
you found that quote you was looking for.
Yeah, you know what the quote? The thing is that the quote is not. It's not even in the damn gold book. It's in the prayer book. Ashutat.
Ashutat.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's in the
it's
Ashatay book. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's what it was. I'm looking at the Gold book, and that had something else. Yeah, it's in the Ashatay book. So I'd have been looking in there forever. But
Cool.
they put me in a position to now read all those prayers that I know I needed because I was going against the voodoo and priestess.
Oh, my
So,
goodness.
so I know I put that energy out. You know, I wasn't playing none of those games. Protect me. I ain't trying to hear none of that. I need help. All right, we about to go in. I know that there, College of Power. We are all in all. Ashmuni. Ready, mama? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Hatakyud. Anuki Jawefpa Ashokim Pa Paut. Wukale Ashokawun Jawef Nia. Anuki Kasamunim Pa Paut. Wu Pa Paut Kawun Kasamunim Nia. Anuki Wahu Ame Pa Paut. Wu Pa Paut Kawun Wahu Ame Nia. Nakuk Kador Naju Ame Kasamunim Pa Paut. Wu Kabub Ame Muskasun. Nakuk Kador Kawan Kale Pafef Nakuk Dayor Jawef Pa Paut. Ame Wase Ame Dayarni Kawun Lake Kokui Jawef Pa Paut. Anuki Yabebi Nafashni. Pa Paut Kawun Anuki. Pa Paut Kador Nakuk Kador. Pa Paut Amul Nakuk Amul. Lahe Humanenum. Am Tumather Korehum. Am Tumather Korekum. Am Tumather Korenum. Am Tumather Jawefnia. Am Tumather Niawu Anukihum. Yaye Ashukrae. Asmojayenum. Yaye Nataru Afuknum. Anunate Mukradukum. Yaye Nataru Afuknum. Afuknum. Yaye Natarunum. Anum. Atum. Amun. Yaye, Natharu. Yaye, Yaye, Natharu. Yaye, Hika, Yaye, Natharu. Ankomate pa mufaku. Yaye, Yaye, Natharu. Amkomate pa mufaku. Wu anunate mukradukum. Wu amkomate muisanum. Yaye, Yaye, Natharu. Aro muklas nunatum raye. Yaye, Yaye, Natharu.
Yaye
Mukdamu wafusnum.
Pardon me.
Yaye mukdamu wafusnum. Amkum mane yake la duda mustafunun. Wu muisarunun. Mane yake sawura paba. Mane yake kawuna kau. Mane yake afe akak. Mane yake kawuna bashawu damam. Yaye nataru mukdamunun. Aro mufdanun. Anhu kawun manza mane pa nataru. Aro anhu kawun baba yanenan. Aro anhu kawun atumraye. Aro anhu kawun haror. Yaye nataru muslafunun. Afuznun mane pa majwadu. Afuznun mane gahalan. Yaye nataru afuznun. Mane sayo gayora. Afuznia. Afuznia. Yaye natarunun. Nakuk talub tamui pipa nataru. Mane pa lain lawi tananu. Kalera namatni ate lahe pa nataru. Wu kale namazoratni ate lahe kayariatun lahe pa nataru. Panan misfakawun. Pasawabu pataruk. Zikawuna nazula lahe ankun. Mane maspat wumasa. Ame hadianu udamaun. Mane maslafukun. Wunataru. Arjulaye nafashukun. Alfukshane Kawunkun, Pasawabu Pataruk, Bahadian Wupadamal, Anun Tawem Kun, Lahe Panandamal Wushafe, Anun Tawem Kun, Lahe Tim, Nasoy Nun, Anun Tawem Kun, Lahe Ashukuma, and Kumate Muslafulun, Anunate Mukradukun, Anun Talum Nasarkuma, Anun Talum Nasarkuma, and Sonun Kahinataru, and Sonum Muslafunun, Anunate Musbatu, Anun, Atun, Atun, Amun. Anunate Kaleja Wef Bahut, Nataru Num, Yaye Mutaru, Yaye Nataru. Yaye Atum Raye, Yaye Natar. Yaye Nun, Yaye Natar. Yaye Nun Tad, Yaye Natar Tad. Yaye Ha, Yaye Natar. Yaye Ha Tad, Yaye Natar Tad. Yaye Kak, Yaye Natar. Yaye Kak Tad, Yaye Natar Tad. Yaye Amun, Yaye Natar. Yaye Amun Tad, Yaye Natar Tad. Yaye Atum, Yaye Natar. Yaye Shashash, Yaye Natar. Yaye Tafaf Natat, Yaye Natar Tad. Yaye Sabab, Yaye Natar. Yaye Natat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Arashtat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Asar, Yaye Natar. Yaye Nabab Tat Hatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Satak, Yaye Natar. Yaye Hara, Yaye Natar. Yaye Haptwi, Yaye Natar. Yaye Anatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Aha Haratwi, Yaye Natar. Yaye Nafartum, Yaye Natar. Yaye Mantu, Yaye Natar. Yaye Bapti, Yaye Natar. Yaye Sakam Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Hatat Haratat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Bai Bish, Yaye Natar. Yaye Patah, Yaye Natar. Yaye Basas Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Imhatap, Yaye Natar. Yaye Hu, Yaye Natar. Yaye Matat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Mahat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Kafafra, Yaye Natar. Yaye Maskanat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Raye Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Kantamatu, Yaye Natar. Yaye Hika, Yaye Natar Tat.
Yaye
Natar Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Ma'at, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Ranan Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Shai, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Sashat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Maftat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Sabak, Yaye Natar. Yaye Anap, Yaye Natar. Yaye Khanum, Yaye Natar. Yaye Khanash, Yaye Natar. Yaye Patanum, Yaye Natar. Yaye Saye, Yaye Natar. Yaye Haktat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Amash, Yaye Natar. Yaye Saratwi, Yaye Natar. Yaye Atum Raye, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Jehutwi, Yaye Natar. Yaye Patawarat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Sakatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Ha, Yaye Natar. Yaye Nahabka, Yaye Natar. Yaye Sakar, Yaye Natar. Yaye Ba, Yaye Natar. Yaye Akar, Yaye Natar. Yaye Imharatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Wapawatat, Yaye Natar. Yaye Sokat Hatat Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Maritat, Sakar Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Saye Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Karatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Asantanu, Yaye Natar. Yaye Bahatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Kanam Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Manaktat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Kamam, Yaye Natar. Yaye Mahatswi, Yaye Natar. Yaye Kabasan Anafaf, Yaye Natar. Yaye Da'amatarafaf, Yaye Natar. Yaye Maritat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Nasat, Yaye Natar. Yaye Jadatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Nakakbatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Sakatat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Anaktat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Jadad, Yaye Natar.
Yaye
Tum, Yaye Natar. Yaye Wahoo, Yaye Natar. Yaye Yasash, Yaye Natar. Yaye Anak, Yaye Natar. Yaye Afafnuit, Yaye Natar. Yaye Satat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Sakatwi, Yaye Natar. Yaye Immaat, Yaye Natar. Yaye Nana, Yaye Natar. Yaye Imnuit, Yaye Natar. Yaye Imsatatwi, Yaye Natar. Yaye Mugdal Tat, Yaye Natar Tat. Yaye Raha Shafaf Yaye Nathar, Yaye Marar Twi Yaye Nathar, Yaye Amun Raye Yaye Nathar. Anuna Te Kaleja with Paus. What's the okay, now the sign of the triad. Be Paranam Impaya Babasar. Woo. Pa Badal Matat Arash Tat. Woo. Pa Tauba Sanan Harar. Amun. Yeah.
So, Baba, you was talking about purging stuff from out of our systems and getting the mukasu out of our systems and everything. And remember, I told you about the Ipa Isut and Adagun, and how he would question people based off of.
Let me give him a little shout outs over here.
No, he's an elder. He's an elder.
He's
He's an elder. He's beautiful. But you would ask questions, and you would think it was harmless because he would just ask you about some type of, food or action or TV show or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that you have an African mindset. You have an African mind, and then when you go ahead and you talk about like how you prefer that thing or how you choose a mate or this, that, and the third, and he'd be like, "See, that's your Ruba behavior." Like that's the programming, that parts of the programming that we don't even know that are there.
Subconscious.
Even as African as minded and learned as we think that we are sometimes.
That's a fact. I mean, most of us grew up on how what's the movie Cable Guy?
Yeah.
Remember the Cable Guy? Because like if you go to the
Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, Jim Carrey. If you go to Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars speaks of the occupationally orphaned children that were left to fend for themselves. And so now we left at the mercy of the streets, the education system, and the TV. And so we'll give you an example of that because we talked about all the Mukasu stuff. I mean, and some people probably not finished chanting. I'm sorry. I'm just going in. But so what we did was, like, I'm gonna give you an example. When I was younger, looking at TV, I look at a bunch of TV, right? But I knew how to process it. It's funny. It gets having access to Baba's to the doctor at such a young age put me in a good space. But I remember my pops cussing me out over something, and I had just seen the Brady Bunch. Anybody know the Brady Bunch, right? I just seen the Brady Bunch, and one of the sons just got into it in the episode I was looking at with the pops. I think it was Peter Brady, right? And so this nigga started cussing the pops out. That's why you do this, Dad, and you don't listen, da-da-da-da-da. And then he go in his room, he closed the door, slammed the door in his pop's face. Boom. So that's in my mind. I'm telling you, I just was looking at this. Something happened, I was supposed to do something. My pops was like, nigga, didn't I tell you to do the such and such and such? You can't go outside tomorrow. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Dad, that's your problem. That's why you've been you don't understand. But I went through the whole mode of the Brady Bunch that I just seen Peter do with his pops on TV. So I'm cussing my pops out. He looking at me, and I ran the room, slammed the door, and I go sit down like everything is cool till the door come flying off the hinges. Right? The door come flying off the hinges. And I go trying to run. Now I'm trying to run under the bed. This nigga to lift the bed up, threw the bed to the side. Nigga, who you talking to? I'm like, right then I knew TV is fake. It don't go down like that. Oh man, that's crazy. Nah, yeah, Mahatsu about to come on. Yeah, guys, you know what this is? This is not. It's not Zoom. It's the But I'm gonna share the link. Mom, I'm gonna share the link inside the Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna put it like this. Hold on.
Got it?
Yep. That's the link. That's the link. The floodgates is open. So I mean, I gotta let you on. You ain't just jumping up there, just talking. I gotta let you on. My Hootsuite, you about to jump on. Yeah, we try to get some stuff out of the system. Anything y'all want to build on, anything from the past shows, Israel, Silos, Congas. Look, the link is right there. You know, this is like any of the shows that y'all seen before, any comments, anything like that. Y'all can, you're welcome to hit the link, right? And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give brothers and sisters, we have the time to build. We here. But we gotta rotate it because we're gonna have everybody gonna want to jump in.
The Moderna conversation.
Yeah, any conversation, whatever's on their minds.
Okay. Excuse me,
Yeah, whatever they looking to do.
Control the masses.
Yeah, whatever they looking to do. Hey, yeah, that's how we doing it. So my hot tweets there, and who is this Sabor? Who I don't even see you. You in the chat room, Sabor? Hold up, it don't even make a difference to me. We doing it. It's on. That's CeeLo. God, yeah,
CeeLo, that's right.
I see you, family.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah, I got you. I put it together. Right back. How you doing?
I'm doing well. The best I can do.
Excellent
how
thing.
you doing?
I'm trying to stay sucker free in the world of sucker MCs.
Word,
Huh?
True. I said, let me rock my crown since you rocking yours. I say,
oh yeah. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the most hectic thing on this social media thing is keeping your outfits because everything you constantly on there. They be calling me no bum. I got 100,000 outfits, but it's hard to keep up on the combinations that I just wore and all that. It's all right. I'm about to start making t-shirts just to wear. And everything's gonna be on sale on the Cosmic Shop. Where my banner at? Put my banner up here. Yeah. Everything's gonna be on sale. We got the herbs at naturalnatureherbs.com. We got the music entertainment at tharorizer.com. And we got the clothes and cosmicshop.com.
That's my venue. You gotta holler at me because I'm into music. I'm a percussionist. I tour around the world.
That's beautiful. That's what's up. You might know my uncle, man. He used to play for Kid Creole and the Coconuts. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead serious. Bongo Eddie, he just passed away a year or so ago. That's my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Yeah, he used to Kid Creole and the Coconuts, man. So
yeah, back in the day.
That was his thing, the percussion. That was his joint. Now you know what I'm saying?
I recorded the first hip hop record 12-inch in history, and that's with the Funky 4 + 1 more. This is the way we rock the house.
That's the name of the joint. That's the way we rock the house.
1 more, yeah, rock the house. Yeah,
we gonna put that in the joint.
Percussion. Oh yeah.
All right, that's you on the percussion. All right. You talk to the people you hear. Listen, we're gonna put something together because I seen the brothers go on. Matter of fact, a day after I did the Mark Lamar Hill rebuttal, I seen y'all go on with a rebuttal also. A lot of the elders.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ramasu, yeah.
Yeah. I seen y'all go on and whatnot. So definitely, it's y'all like the keepers of the journey.
That's interesting because let me just share something.
Hey, build on it.
Share something with you. After that show, a couple of elders contacted me. We got together and we formed what is called the Council of 9 Morals and Ethic Appropriation Committee, which is a bunch of elders that came in from 70 during the Ansars in 70 to 82 and 83, because that's when actually the Ansars were, we made the transition to go into something else.
Okay.
But, the elders that were present at that time, that's one of the qualifications to get on that seat. So we got one open for Bob, of course. Partner by we don't move without him having a seat. And but it's kind of hard getting the elders together, man. It's just hard because you got brothers coming back since they were with the master teacher since they were 13 years old. I mean,
so they coming back to be a part of the tribe.
They're around. Yeah, they're around, and they scoping everything out. They're on social media.
Yeah.
On social media.
Well, y'all brothers that been there through the walk, and stayed in tune with the doctrine, y'all have to now make sure that they're in tune with the now doctrine, as well as held on to the wisdom of the Jews of all the doctrines and schools that we went through, you know. Because I always encourage brothers and sisters to stay in tune and read, because what happens is when you're talking subconsciously, whatever's in your whatever you internalize is what's going to come up. So regardless of what you got on cap, things are going to come out. So if your last school was during a Sumerian school, that's what's going to come out prevalent. If the last school was the Ansardu, that's what's going to come out. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got to stay in tune with the words, because God is not writing for nothing. Regardless of what we think or how we feel about whatever part of the doctrine, he ain't writing for nothing. Everything is applicable. You know, we just got to have the wisdom to know when and where to apply it.
And
you know,
if you talk to older brothers that was with the master teacher when they were even in the gangs or whatever, and they see that there is a thin line of like I hate to use the word denominator, but like a common denominator in all the schools, that's that path. You know what I'm saying? That's what we used to call mustaqim. That's that path, that narrow path that's in every one of the schools. So you can go to any one of the schools and still find that thread, because he really, you know, he just like, you know, there was one path that he was on, but then he had to go to these different schools in order to wake us up.
Had to. That's a fact.
So when you vibe on that path and you see it, you get to it opens you up. You get to see all the other schools, and he says, "Oh, he spoke about that years ago, but we didn't catch it because we were so stuck in Islam or stuck in we were stuck in all these other schools, occult schools and whatever, but we didn't see it at that time. But now with Wu Sabat, you get to see a more clear picture of what's everything. Everything. I can go back and still see that common thread. You know.
I hope that.
Bro, bad.
Hey, I'm a headpiece on. You know what I'm saying? Getting my stuff together.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
Atum Bob, Raobat, beloved. What's going on, God? God been on my back, trying to get on the platform. He on the back. He on my back. He was like, "Yo, I gotta get up there. What's up? What's up? Talk to the people. Introduce yourself. Talk to people. You got any questions, statements, and analyzation? You up here with two elders that have been traveling with the master for probably, how old are you? Probably longer than you've been alive. They've been walking with on the doctrine. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So if you have any questions, anything you want to put out there, and any bills, this is your time, bro. Welcome to the platform. We appreciate you, because time is precious. We don't even have any time. So the fact that we all spending time together right now to get our 9 minds together is priceless. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, talk to the people, God. Introduce yourself.
I appreciate you. My name is Atum Re'abach, and appreciate the elders in the room, elders in the building. I'm 27. Came through many different schools of thought. Bobby Hemmett, Dick Gregory, Phil Valentine. So a lot of different elders at that time, and those schools of thought came through. At a time around like 2012 is when I really woke up and came to understand. I was thinking that because of the Mayan calendar that was ending, I was thinking that the world's about to end. So I was going around telling people we all about to die. You know what I'm saying? That's the mindset I had. I had that concept at that time, and I had I did research within the Mayan history, but I didn't realize that it was a paradigm shift that my mind was going through to wake up into new levels of conscious. And around I think it was 2016 or 17, I made a journey out and left and went to the tropics and spent 5 years in Central America with an organization or a group. I'm not gonna mention the name, but
I was saying, I know who them people are. I know the people. You see that brother running around with no shirt on with all them wives.
You already know, man. I had that experience.
Yeah. But it's an experience. It's okay. You're here to talk about it.
Absolute. And it's funny because what drew me to that experience is the fact that the brother that was teaching the information at the time, the Zamal that was teaching the information at the time, actually had gotten that information from the Nuwapians, but failed to mention that to the people. A lot of people take the information. I see a lot of brothers take the information, and what they do is, because of the ego, they take it, they utilize it for themselves, and then they don't give reverence or pay homage to the
That's
elders.
a fact. That's 99.9% of the people that everybody running behind.
Yeah,
that's right.
Community.
Call himself, well, yeah, the conscious, unconscious, the Frankenstein necromancer. Yeah, that's a fact.
You
But
know,
You ever realize, young man, Rahubat Musa, you ever realize that that brother had like a Yoruba name, something like Olegwa? You ever realize that?
yeah,
What's in
yep,
the name? What's in the name, family? You understand coming from? You have to be very cognizant of the energy that's carrying people's names. That's why Baba gave us these Tamarayan attributes. You understand coming from? So when you see
yeah,
someone has a name like that and it has that at the end, and you catch the tone and you go back and you do reference and realize who this person or this being is so and so and so and so and so and so, and they're carrying that name. So once that name is called or uttered or called upon or guarded, the being then responds, or the beings both alive and dead, past and present, respond to when you're called Olegwa or whatever you're being called.
right.
And
yeah,
I used to
that
wonder.
and the what's the name too, pardon me, elder. But also the language. Whatever the language, that's why Baba upgrades the attributes based on the language, because you still holding on to the Hebrew and to the Arabic and to the all this. You bringing those energies and those spirits to the surface, because those are gateways that we're opening up. And he gave us the example about
Facts.
if you
Ooh.
pressing the C or the A on a piano, every A is vibrating at the same time. Every C is vibrating at the same time, and that's the
Facts.
same thing. So when you're being called by an
Yeah.
attribute, every entity that manifested that attribute through time is being called when
Ooh.
you're being called. So you become a
Right.
gateway for all those entities to come through. You
But
know,
you know,
so
Yeah.
yeah,
But you
that's
know
that quantum entanglement. Bob is telling like, yo, it's serious, and he's the only one giving it to us on this wavelength, on this level.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, that
Facts.
happens with every language and names. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have a government name like Carlos, whatever, you know there are people that were named Carlos that passed away. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
You still
Elder, you
so it
gotta get
happens.
closer to your mic. Where your
Right.
mic at? You
My
low.
mic right here.
Okay, yeah, you
I'm low.
because you low.
All right.
On the joint.
So yeah, you know, let me bring
Okay, we good. I got you. We got you.
yeah, so that happens with, you know, that's the power of tones, you know, in everything.
Absolutely.
And speaking to the brother Mahatwi, the elder here, yeah, you know, when it comes to Yoruba and like, you know, stuff like that, you know, we didn't quite get into that school, but there were brothers that did have that school under their belt. You know what I'm saying? I was one of them because of Oba, our master teacher's
Oh
brother.
man.
You know what I'm saying? So he
How,
was, and when we were Ansars, he had his stores and Botanica, and he was heavily into that. And they used to frequently visit the Ansar Law community and go to our bookstore and get our books. And so it was, you know, there wasn't a commodity thing at that time. You know, so I don't know what happened later
is
on.
that before the African Islamic mission or during that Oba had?
That was, I think, in the beginning of his African. Yeah, it was in the beginning.
It's so interesting that you said that, because I was just going back and forth with the brother about the whole Yoruba situation, and that's why even when Baba's daughter was talking, she it's like that Yoruba was always right there on the side, because a lot of the family through Oba was now practicing that alongside of
right. They got a lot of that also from Fatima. You know, may she rest in peace. My dear heart. You know, the master teacher's mother. That woman. You know, took me under her wings and fed me, and you know, so I owe so much to her. But you know, they learned that from her. You know, the whole Yoruba, you know, schools, and also the Islamic school, because she comes back all the way from Sheikh Dawood.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? She was, I think, a secretary in there. She was
yes. She was checked. That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
in that school. So a lot of that, you know, grew. You know, so she had stores and stuff like that. So yeah, Oba took the road to Yoruba, which is, you know, when you look at the Yoruba, because I'm a percussionist, right? So I play for a lot of these bembes and
Yeah, for the ceremonies and rituals.
ceremonies, and
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have elekes.
Yeah.
I haven't gone deep into it, but being that I have the talent for percussion and I play, but you know, there are people, you know, that's just I look at Yoruba and that practice as it's part of voodoo, Vudan, right? But Vudan is like the skeleton. They took the natural, the one that's practiced in the Caribbean in America. They took the natural nature out of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you're getting a lot of the skeleton. So, because I speak to a lot of these obas, you know, babalao, and I school them on that. So the natural nature was taken out of it, and that's what Baba, you know, he brought that back in because, you know, he didn't fully practice it, but when he took us back to ancient Kemet, you know, all of that comes out of ancient Kemet.
Now the origin. So the thing is, what Baba said, like regardless of what we call it, I was just telling the brother, we was going back and forth, and I said, listen, the way back to the ancestors is through this Wusabat and animism, because all the other disciplines have been perverted by the East Indian, by the Arab, by the Mukasu. Yes. They've been perverted, and a lot of the brothers and sisters have got into the blood sacrifices. See, so and that's the the materialism. And even the things that they're in tune and getting in tune with the Orisha and all of the Voodoo ancestors. The reason why their communion is not for the sake of liberation of the people, it's not for spiritual enlightenment, it's for material comfort to assimilate into the European system. You see what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. So the master's like, we don't deal with nothing with bloodshed. I just read one of the maxims, and he says, so the only way to feed a lion is to kill a lamb. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to sacrifice the animals of creation for the gods or the ancestors that's supposed to be a part of the creative process. That's not our way. And we get away from that because those are disagreeable entities that's requiring that death energy. Because a lot of times it's not the blood, it's the spark of energy, the soul that they're absorbing in order to maintain their existence on our plane of existence, because they're from another dimension.
Yeah, the intent behind it, because you got frequency and tones, and plus the intent give you manifestation.
Yeah.
So the attention that they have behind it, because you can use anything. You can even use Satanism, whatever you want to use, but the intent behind it, it's evil, then you're gonna have a manifestation.
But sometimes even they want to do good things, but if you gotta always give to get. So now what's the sacrifice?
Right.
Because what forces are you feeding? See, we don't know except for what we've been taught through those different circles, and we know they got disconnected from the origin. The master is here to give us the origin of all these things and the proper practice for the activation of the powers without those blood sacrifices and communion with disagreeable energies and entities. We don't have to do that.
What better man can do that than a man that has that disagreeable being? Because he looked it straight into my eyes and said, I'm a disagreeable being. I don't want no friend. I don't want no nothing. I'm just your master teacher. You know what I'm saying? I've come to do things that you're not gonna understand. And then he dropped on us the Moses when he following. I
was just about to go into Al-Qadir. That's right,
bro. That's a heavy lesson in that. Matter of fact, Bruce Lee put it in his movie Circle of Iron. You ever seen Circle of Iron?
Nah.
Oh, you got it. Bruce Lee wrote the script to that.
Well, one of your elders tell a story. I don't know how you want to pop in now. But when you tell a story of the Al-Qadir story for the brothers and sisters, because that's what these brothers that fell off for the journey, that's what they're failing. They're failing that walk with Al-Qadir, right? Yeah. That Musa had, and you find it inside the Quran. And he told him, just walk with me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like in the end, I'm gonna explain it all. And what Baba said, don't run up ahead, don't fall behind, just walk with me. You know, so that's inside the Holy Tablets, it's inside the Quran. It's always reiterated because that's the mission that we on, you know. But I don't want to go too far. I want the young God to build. What's up, bro? Talk to us. You have any questions, any misunderstanding, anything you want clarification on? You got two elders, you got me. I don't know nothing. All right. I'm just trying to learn.
Me too.
I'm just trying to get basic. I'm rudimentary, ABC 1, 2, 3. Halif got the jewels, but he keeping the secret sacred. He don't want to talk to nobody about nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's how he do. And Mahatri over there, he gonna go into different languages on you. He gonna shift.
Mahatri is deep. I know.
This is the time, God. If you got any questions, anything you want clarity on, put it out there right now.
I do. Actually, I had questions about. Well, you just touched on it a little bit, but I had questions about the creation story because I'm thinking of like a narrative. All right, so obviously we need to go deep within the books because the master teacher himself has written over 1,000 books. I'm over here. I'm still finding books. You know what I'm saying? I just tapped in. I'm new. You know what I'm saying? I'm just tapping in, but I'm realizing the work that that the master teacher Baba Yanun has put out there, and there's so many books. And for me, a thing that I really wanted to know, even just to look for, just to get an understanding of the creation story of the first original man, because as we know, like the black people were the original race of this earth. So my question would be, what is our origin story? Like the best way to explain, or just to even just references to understand our origin story as far
That's
as
a loaded question.
That's a super loaded. That's why I started laughing. Listen, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna get out of the way and let the elders take care of this. I'm gonna say our story comes down to this one line: once upon a time. That's how far back it go. Once upon a time. Go ahead. Anybody want to take this?
I don't want to be too long-winded, so please stop me if I'm long-winded. Well, when you deal with creation, again, we're speaking a language. We're thinking in English. We're thinking a language. You gotta understand creation, right? To create something is actually, you got two parts. You got making, the maker, and you got the creation. But it comes out of existence. Existence is one state, and subsistence. Subsistence is a submerged existence.
My phone.
So when you deal with creation, you got to look at if you talk about the original man is not us, because that's old. You know what I'm saying? That's a hollow end. That's we predate that. There is no
somebody phone. Okay, we good. Go ahead.
Yeah, there is no really. It all depends on what you look. What school and what certain tribes and what people you're speaking about. You know what I'm saying? When you go into creation, you go into existence. What existed before this creation happened?
Existence before creation.
Yeah, before creation is primordial beings, particles, the constellation, the cosmos, and these cosmos they crash into each other and they let out these spurs, these particles. So when Earth is formed, then you got these particles that from this, all dealing with the sun, these particles that what they call what's the word I'm trying to use? It falls on Earth and what is
they call them panspermia.
Yeah.
Panspermia is when
exactly.
Yeah, panspermia is when you talk about.
And it takes water. When you deal with creation, when you deal with creation, you're dealing with water, you're dealing with space, vacuum, and you're dealing with matter. You know what I'm saying? So when these particles fell on Earth, these primordial beings we're made of star substance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where we're from, the star. That's Wusabat. We're from the star. So as that fell on Earth, there's a word I'm trying to use: fertilization.
That's what panspermia did. It took the qualities and materials from the stars and brought it to the Earth, but it was sent. It wasn't just by chance.
Okay.
It was sent. The planet was seeded.
I can buy that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The man was seeded.
And starts the germination process.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So
and the planet as a womb.
And it all happened in the waters of, I believe it was Lake Victoria in Africa. In Lake Victoria. That was the condition, because it happened all around the Earth.
The first people, though, let me get to the Sands people. Are for the master literally in the right knowledge in the Nuwapian, when we went through the 90s, he called them the Tarhites, Ethiopian Cushites.
Yes.
These are the Sands people or the Bushmen.
Khoi,
right?
San. Yeah.
That's
Khoi,
right.
And the San people.
And so these people are the ones that came out from the water onto the land, because we were aquatic beings first.
And their language was because of the dolphins in the water, so the language had click sound, because dolphin speaks in click.
Yes.
He has a question.
Vocalization.
Can I be heard?
Yes.
He has a question.
I was
still building. Hold on.
I can hardly hear you all.
You can't hear none of us?
A brother called me and knocked my sound out, man. I don't even know why he called. He's in the chat.
You gotta go out and come back.
Because I want to address the whole
You
creation
gotta
thing too from the Black Book.
You gotta go out and come back, my hot sweet.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I tuned Ray. You got another question to add on?
Oh yeah.
Did that answer your question? Did that answer your questions? I mean,
yeah,
did it give you at least a little spark into search even more, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's a great answer that you gave me, and I kind of wanted to know, is that synonymous to the you know how they talk about in ancient Egypt, they talk about the primordial waters of Noon, and they talk about Atum, like you were just talking about, the germination coming down in that lake would be like the primordial waters, and then us being birthed from the water coming into the land. Right. You know what I'm saying?
It's both, because it's the microcosm and the macrocosm, because that storyline is what happened in the heavens and what happened in the earth. As above, so below. So it's giving you the cosmological birth sequence, because the same way that we're seeded, that there's orgasms and ejaculations, and there's seeding, and then there's a incubation process, and then there's a birth that we go through in this planet, is the same way that the stars are born, and universes and galaxies are born. And so
you a star.
And we all are, we as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all are part of all. We're an extended, we all are a part of all.
Absolutely.
Hold up. The sister, now the sister want to add on. Goddess, you can add on. You ain't got to be muted. Go, come on in.
Rahbat Musa.
Rahul back, Goddess. What's going on?
I'm great, thank you. I just really wanted to say Tawakum to everybody. I'm so enjoying these lives. It brings so much positive energy, and especially from the elders. I really appreciate it. Like
beautiful voice you have.
Pharaoh Shepsis Dua Mutef, you are a comedian. You crack me up. I am serious. It's like the gateway over here in the UK, but I'm up listening to you, and I'm sharing it with my fellow Sabians, because I think that the builds that you're creating, it brings so much energy, and it makes me want to listen, want to continue learning. I'm from old school. I'm from the Ansar days. I came into the mission in 1992, and I visited Bushwick. I've been to Edgewood, and I've been on land several times. I've met our beloved master teacher. I'm still holding on to the rope. Right. And but I just really wanted to show my appreciation, because I think it's really important, particularly at this time with all the stuff that's going on. Like, I feel like things are bubbling to the surface, but for me, what you all are doing is just creating an energy that is bringing people together. It's like we're talking about things that need to be spoken about. But what I did want to say, if I may,
absolutely, please,
about the sister yesterday, I think we have to be mindful that this sister, she obviously experienced a trauma, and I feel within the tribe there's not enough. It's like maybe what's missing is that she obviously didn't feel protected. She didn't feel, and that is something that we have to address, that she didn't feel that her family or her tribal family didn't protect her at that particular time. They didn't come to her aid. And I think we have to listen to what she's saying from that perspective. Obviously, she's hurt. And I appreciate what you're saying, Zamal, about the situation. But we have to be mindful of that, because clearly what she experienced was very traumatic for her. And I feel we have to make sure that anybody experiences trauma, we have to be available as family, because we are all we have. And
I agree.
And that's within any family, not just obviously our tribal families, but in our personal families. I'm sure we all experience the same thing. Sometimes it happens, but we just have to be mindful of that, because I could hear her pain. And I don't think she means ill will in terms of what she's saying. I just feel that she's coming from a place of hurt.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to speak on that. I'm going to speak on that because I know her since she was a little child. I'm going to speak on that.
Yeah, but I just really want to show my appreciation more than anything.
Thank you, Goddess. I appreciate
what you're doing, and you're beautiful. Hamatat, your wife, all props to her. I don't know how she manages you, but hey.
Listen, I'm a pushover, right? She the bully. I'm a pushover. I'll be over here writing on the screen, help me, help.
I doubt that very much. That is a
Blink,
goddess.
blink
I can
twice.
tell.
Blink
And
twice.
I just appreciate the energy that you all create. And I'm just gonna keep on listening and learning and keep doing what you all are doing. And
We appreciate you.
and also
All
as well the prayers, like, you know, I chant myself daily, but even when I'm on, I still chant with you all again. And that is also helping me, and I feel the energy when I do that. And so yeah, just appreciation, honestly.
Oh man, that's
it's like gateway time over here, so I'm gonna sign out.
okay.
And,
Okay,
play
we
you all in the
appreciate you.
background.
We appreciate you. The fact that the goddesses, the family in London is over there and spending the time, because time is precious. Bible said we don't even have any. So the idea that we're spending that time to unify with minds and souls, you know, is just priceless. You know, I'm sensitive. I'm about to put my thing, my avatar on so I can shed a tear or two. You know what I'm saying? The love is real. But I'm motivated.
I was actually I was speaking to a brother, and I was telling him about your lives, and he was like, oh, but it's so long. And I was just like, but bro, listen, like, I know it's long, but like there's so much jewels, like when you listen to the elders talk and like the building and like, so I said to him, just listen to it. Like I listen to it whilst I'm working. I work from home, so I play it in the background. I'm cracking up, just like I'm working at the same time, and I'm gaining knowledge. And like, so he listened and he said, you know what, you're right. And I was like, yeah, just listen. Like, and you know, even though it's long, like yesterday's was epic. But
oh
you know, I caught up today.
Like, oh my goodness!
I caught up today, and it was just it was awesome. So I'm just like, this is fantastic. Keep doing what you do.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing upon the thought. Be praised. I appreciate you. And listen, sister, I'm gonna say to the family, like we are going to chop a lot of the videos up by subject matter, so that certain points can be emphasized, and it'll be shorter and more, you know, more digestible to the people that look at it and be like, man, I'm not sitting there for half a work day listening to them people.
Almost an hour and 17 minutes here.
Already. See, time fly. You know how when you building. Listen, I know y'all did it. I personally done called out of work from building with people. I remember this being on a bus, reading a book, somebody being nosy. We go, what's that? And I end up talking to them, and here go my stop. And we still in the middle of building. I end up calling out right from there. And just go off to the mall, have a cup of tea, and we sitting there building all day long. Like
so much.
This is what it's about. We made for this. This is our thing, you know. So I appreciate you guys. You know, I will tap to you and the family out there, and we gonna keep doing and keep adding on more. You know, we got guests coming through too. We got some people about to come through. You know, outside, not just. The tribe is what it's about, but we got people outside the tribe that overstand, and they want to come on the platform and talk to the peoples and stay positioned and their experiences, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, we here, you know, and I thank you for that, sis. Definitely.
And tak afia afu.
That's right. Oh,
all right. Goodness. I'm gonna sign out, but I'm gonna keep listening. So keep doing.
All right. Tawu.
What do?
All right. Habad wa ashuk. I'll tweet back.
I think
he wanted to say something. Huh?
Yeah, I just want to say something, you know, briefly before you go into the bill about the, you know, the sister and the, you know, the situation.
I don't want to be like, you know, this, you know, I'm not gonna like backbite her or slander her.
Now, I just want to reference a chapter from Patarak. The chapter is the seen and the unseen, and in there he talks about conflict. And what the purpose of conflict is, and how it can be used to heal. You know, when there's static energy, when there's chaotic energy, it has a purpose within nature, and we have to learn, you know, each other. We have to learn each other's energies. We have to learn each other's body, you know, our personalities, our spirit, so forth and so on. There's a ritual. So in that chapter, he gets into that, you know, to talk about, you know, the purpose of conflict, and how to deal with it. Seen and unseen.
Seeing and unseen.
The seen and the unseen.
Okay. Read up on that.
It's on it didn't come out. It didn't come out. They didn't release it. It's on YouTube.
It's
on
one
the
of
Patadak YouTube channel.
Patadak. Go to the Patadak. Matter of
okay.
fact, I posted that one of the classes. Go to the Patadak YouTube channel. There's so many Patadak readers up there that never came out.
Wow. I go to Scrib, but I'm gonna check out that on YouTube.
Oh, Scribe.com.
I have it. I think I have it.
Yeah. That's definitely like another thing I want to add on to the guard. I told like and Baba broke down that because your question was about us and as far as our physical creation, right? As far as the time frame, and that's millions and millions of years ago. You see what I'm saying? As far as the personification, but we have no birth record. The reason being is because we existed in an energy state before we existed in a physical state, and this is what the God was saying: existence before creation. Right. Because you had to exist. Even when religious people talk about the creator creating, he had to be in existence first before creation. Yes. So we existed in a place before the physical reality, or you could say in a subatomic world. We existed. So Baba explained, even in opening the holy tablets, he said we have primary creation, secondary creation, and tertiary creation. The primary creation is talking about in the gaseous state. You see what I'm saying? When the nine ether gases, the conscious and conscience gases that grew with creation, they grew with universe. This is us in our gaseous state, constructing, instructing, and navigating the growth and development of the rest of the universe. You understand? And so he explains these stages of creation before the flesh and blood creation. And he explained creation as growth and development. He says the word creation is from the word create, to bring forth, create, produce, to cause to grow. So creation, it means growth. So you got to grow from something. You know what I'm saying? But the something starts a no thing or nothing because it's considered nothing because it exists on the other side of the periodic table of elements before the one or the hydrogen atom comes into existence, which is something or SUM, but now it has weight in the physical world. So we exist pre-physical. We exist on the other side of the periodic table of elements in the etheric chart. So if you think about the atom is composed of the proton, electron, and neutron, those are subatomic particles and before the atom. And then you also have the quarks and the zeolites and the biacs. This is going into the etheric realm. So even in elementary school, they're teaching us about the etheric or the spiritual realm, even in elementary school, by telling us about the subatomic world, because this is before things come into existence. If you think about it, we breathe oxygen and nitrogen and all that, and oxygen is the 8th element. So that you don't even get into 8 until you start breathing. So that's how far along we are as a part of the cosmos. This is pre-physical though. And the physical is an illusion kept together by consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So I say that because again, the physical is composed of the subatomic particles of the atom, and the subatomic particles are not touching. So even the physical, the best way to understand it is going to ice, water, and steam, which is separated by heat. You see what I'm saying? So that's your physical, your blood, and then your spiritual. So, just to throw that out there for the family.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, brother, just to add on to that, when you look at what stars are made of, the substance, our body has the same substance, and that's hydrogen. Your body has hydrogen. Nitrogen. Your body has oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus. These are elements, and I just forget the list. But if you Google and you see what stars are made of, you're also made of that too. And also plants have certain amount depending on what has more than more. So there's substances around us, So these elements, again, have an etheric also counterpart to it. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother was saying. When you go to
that's what the Black Book spoke of. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mom.
No, you too.
When the Black Book said that we were made from solar or stellar winds, and when the solar or stellar winds travel, they attracted information as they moved, and these stellar winds incarnated as human beings and plant and animal life. And the reason why it's a solar or stellar wind is because of a letter. The letter is M, right? EM, or M means to be birthed from or of. the Roman numeral 1000. You have now to go and look at M other and the circle of existence and understand what he means when he begins to talk about the letter M or the name EM. Because Baba even said when they kill a black man or a black child or anyone who is black, we go back to the sun and the sun gets hotter. So we actually are in, because remember the black book said
I remember
that the exoteric or physical manifestation of sunlight is melanin. So we are actually birthed, we are actually birthed from the sun. That's why we are walking suns, walking living suns. You
And the
understand
sun
I'm
is a
coming from?
star. A star is a sun. The sun is a star.
Correct.
The star is a
Co-
sun.
right. Right. So each and every one of us is actually a sun or a star or a living sun. And this also ties into the names once again that Baba gave us. Because for instance, my name is Mahatri M. Ray, right? And it means the forceful speaker, M, birth of Ray, the sun. You understand coming from? And we are all actual, once again, sons that came from that central sun, which exists, you know what I'm saying, outside of,
Mhm.
well, the planet Earth in our solar system. Um, and there's one thing I want to add about that. That those gases, right, go back to, or we go back to a point called the dark, which on in the physical realm is
Right.
equated to the feminine womb. And
Mm.
you all
The
were saying
darkness.
earlier about what happened before creation, which goes back into the proof. The proof says that the words "Let there be light" was spoken, but those words were emitted from the dark, which means that intellect, right, preceded the dark for the words to be spoken, "Let there be light." So therefore, we go back to the intelligence that really predates or comes before, things coming into existence from, as the brother just said, H1, the quark, the biap, the ZDs, the hadron, and so forth and so on. In one of the actual facts where Baba shows the sun and the sun's creation, he goes back to a point in time named pre-galactic hydrogen, right? And hydrogen means hydro or hydra, water, genetics. And remember
Exactly.
that,
Water genetics.
um, right? And remember that H2O are in actual fact facets of the water molecule.
Mm.
That's
Okay,
that's
so
The
before
definitely
information is
creation
out
was
there, man. You just really got to
before
dig in,
creation
find
was
those books.
yeah. No, I definitely want to look at that. So basically, like you were saying, before creation was fertilization. Within the womb, which is the darkness, which
Existence and
is
substance.
existence.
With
Yeah.
existence, yeah, facts. With existence, yeah.
that process exists. Like when you read the Sacred Wisdom of Tahuti, and it goes into like that the life process, that growth process exists, and the gender, the masculine, feminine, that transition happens on every level of reality. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying? That fertilization process happens in the physical, but this physical is the most dense of all of the density levels. So
facts.
the last
Correct.
phase that we do it on, it happens in the spiritual phase, the mental phase, intergalactic, interdimensional. It's just the natural, and our way is studying not the natural way of things. So we're now getting in tune and learning that we're just a gross manifestation of all the other universal principles. You know,
Now,
Facts.
now I heard things like I've heard things before like so basically like this realm is just like you said a dense realm for us to learn how to master thought, learn how to master our abilities to control thought because in other realms if we think something because of the density it might come to us right away. You know what I'm saying? Rather than this realm when we think something and we are manifesting into existence, it takes a time to come to us. So mastering what we are capable of in this realm through the levels. Of course, I know, through the teachings, we're here to be the all, connect to the all, be the etheric beings, not just non-ether, but the most ether that we can be, a complete ether. I think I heard one of y'all brothers was saying one of y'all Zamals
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah,
saying on
yeah.
the live. So so that's something that I was really wanted to know. Y'all really cleared that up for me a lot because I really wanted to know, what I'm saying, as far as creation goes, how that started, but you just broke it down you know, in such a way that I have an understanding now. You know,
I'm,
because
I'm,
I
I'm
came.
happy we can help, brother.
Another thing to add on, Baba had asked a question on Tamaray one day, right? He said, um, before a baby is birthed into this world, does it exist? You
Yep.
got that? Before a baby is born into this physical world, does it exist? And we were like, nah, no. He said yes, because everything needed to make the baby is already in existence before the mother and father comes together.
Yep. He said
Every
they actually
aspect,
make that connection months before the actually conception. It's
yeah.
already established that it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. You
Even
know,
even with thought and the preparation
preparation.
of the male body, the 3 months for his what do we call it again?
Yeah, for as what?
Trimesters?
For his three, cause he takes 3 months too with his
Trimesters. It's those
prostate,
trimesters.
and the feminine she takes 3 months. And remember, when the baby is
Right.
born, it's 9 months plus 3 months. It's a year old
It's a year
already,
old. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
right?
Right.
But
Right.
it also comes from a solid, a gaseous state to a liquid state to a solid state, because the liquid state is sperm, semen, right, and ovum, and the solid state is when the baby coagulates, the sperm and the egg coagulate, and then the process begins on this side of things. The light state is when the thought is about, okay, I want to have a baby, or we gonna get her pregnant, right? And then you know what I'm saying? And then from that point on,
Right.
that's when the motion begins within the feminine and the masculine for them to come together with what is called attraction, and that attraction is called bonding. This can be also seen, and I think it's either mind link to mind link, or one of the first master secrets, where he said that the first Adam came from H1, which was feminine by nature, and then H1 had to bond with itself. It's the same thing that happens when a masculine and feminine come together. They bond and they fuse, and once they bond and fuse, then as he said in existence, why, how, and I think it's how
How
and
and
why,
why?
but that's
How and why?
existence,
Yeah.
right? Right.
Yeah.
He
How?
said that
How?
what happens is the oyster gives birth, right? And inside of the shell, it heats up and it becomes an oyster pearl. That's the same thing with us, because what happens is the feminine egg goes from 8 to 4 to 2 to 1. 8 is Ogdoad, right? 8 is octo or octave or Ogdoad. And then it goes from 8 to 4 to 2 to 1. And then that one is the one that is the most intelligent sperm that goes around the oocyte and goes in and then impregnates and births and grows inside. And then she carries it, and then it breaks like an egg, which is why they asked the question in ancient Egypt, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Because the
Right.
egg symbolized the etheric aspect and the
Baba
chicken
said
was
the
the physical
dinosaur.
aspect. You understand where I'm coming from? So there's an etheric, like the brother Duamut Afef just said, there's an etheric aspect or energy aspect that actually predates and is pre-programmed and then programs what we know as the now. You understand where I'm coming from?
So,
So creation or crear, as the brother said, it's in the black book. It means to grow. And when we go back now to early Earth was composed of gases, amoeba, and protozoa. And the word amoeba means shapeshifter, which is something the woman does
Menstruate while
on her
she's
cycle.
menstruating. That's right.
Facts, right? And then protozoa means first animals. And life came about from when a single cell organism, which was feminine by nature, what it did was it went through a process called mitosis, and it gave birth to a twin sister or daughter cell. And then the aspect of creation or birth or growth began, which goes into the womb when the child has no gender until, and we know the rest.
right.
It's
What?
a lot of
So
information there, my brother.
that is. I just wrote down the black book. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just wrote that down. I have
good.
just one more question for y'all, if you don't mind. About basically what you were saying as far as like, all right, so before birth of a child, it was already, in written that that would happen. Does that mean that free will is not actuality, because I did read in one of the scrolls, I think it was Science of Healing, where Baba Yanun did break down will. You know what I'm saying, what will was. But as far as free will, could you elaborate on that?
But the word will in Sabic is shawel, and it just means what you will do. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
But what happens is the will that we're dealing with is based upon the 29 beings in our DNA and those inner voices,
The 30
right?
spirits.
The
The
30
30
spirits,
spirits,
right?
facts,
Patadak, 30, there were 30
30
spirits, very important.
personalities, 30
facts, right?
personalities.
So it's ought and not. Ought is what you ought to do, and not is what you should not do. And this goes in back into the 30 spirits in the DNA. That's where will comes about. And the fact that we have to learn to control those voices, right? Because as Baba said, there's a voice that, could be disagreeable, and you go and listen to that, and that voice grows and becomes the strongest and the most powerful. Now you become a disagreeable being. That's by way of will or allowing something to happen. So you have to stop these things from happening in your own DNA. We have to look inside ourselves. That's why the Muslims, as the brother would tell you, the brother what's his name, Sabor would tell you that Baba used to say that the greatest battle is the inner battle. The
That's right.
jihad starts within yourself.
Jihad is in the heart. That's right.
You,
And
you,
if
You
you
know,
so,
understand where I'm coming
and
from.
and for the
So
records,
what
go ahead.
happened?
I'm sorry. No, I just want to make some statement for the record. That my name, my my Kemetic name is actually Kepra Shuasap. But I
Kepra.
didn't write
Okay.
it down. Kepra. Yeah, they used to
Kepra.
call me Kepra. Yeah, Kepra.
Okay. Kepra.
Right here. Kepra.
And that speaks about transformation, and the transformation power once again comes from Ray. So what happens is we have a central sun, and the brother said a couple of nights ago, and that central sun is Baba Yanun. You understand where I'm coming from? And this is where we get
Yeah.
the ideology of El Kupt or the axis, because remember he was called El Kupt or the axis, which is ancient Tamaray or ancient
We
Egypt.
revolve around
That's
that, right?
our DNA once again. We have to tap into the highest aspect of our DNA called ether. The word ether means moral, right? Moral. It's inside of one of the first actual facts too. Go look it up. Don't believe me. Go look it up, right? And it speaks about ethics, morals,
Morals and
values.
ethics.
You understand where I'm coming from? So we have to tap into the highest aspect of our DNA and our true etheric and ether system, which is Wu Sabat. Once we begin to conduct our lives according to Patara, actual facts, master secrets, the canon, and the different orders that Baba has bestowed upon us, right? And then importantly, Palahaj, Palahaj Kawunit Jed Mahia. The language is very important because
language. That's
language
right.
also refers back to DNA. And the language also opens up those brain notes and those areas in the brain, right? That
Yeah.
creates a mental aspect of freedom and liberation. So once we have a culture, and that culture replaces every disagreeable thing we could encounter, from being raped by whoever and having an Anunnaki in our DNA, right? And the East Indian and whatever beings that exist in us that would affect us and could even effect us and inflict us. Because remember that part of our greatest downfall or those inner voices that we listen to. Hey, yo, go ahead, smoke some, son. Have a drink. You understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
And once we
Yeah.
smoke, and drank, then that voice says, let's smoke again. That one was good. Go ahead and hit that blunt one more again. You hit that blunt one more again. You hit that Hennessy one more again. Next thing you know, when you wake up in the morning,
Brother Mahati, if I may just chime in real quickly on what the
go
brother
ahead.
was asking about free will. Free will is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? That's, a perspective. Because when you
Okay.
deal
You
with
gotta
will,
speak up, bro.
free will,
Yeah,
can you hear me
there you
now?
go. There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Free will is an illusion.
Mm,
Because what happened with will, that's the solar plexus, that energy center where your solar plexus, where you have your ego, your self-esteem, all that. What can happen sometimes is we become too egotistical, you know what I'm saying, in the world. And the best practice that we can do as a being is go to an ocean, right? Or look into a telescope and look at the vast cosmos, or go to an
mm,
ocean and see that, and that puts your ego in order. That brings
Right.
it down because it says there's something out there much bigger than me.
Right.
There's something out there much bigger. You know what I'm saying? So free will, to me, that's kind of like, well, I don't like anything that's free anyway. I think you got to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Well, listen, to add on with that, like Mahatwi and the guy was saying, we know the 30 spirits play in the 4 generations, and we deal with the ancestors, Asalafu, right? But all of them are not right and exact. So remember, a lot of them transitioned, they were still under the spell. Their aspirations and desires are not necessarily for freedom and liberation. So they're trying to work through you to get access to the physical world again.
Yeah.
So they can experience the gratifications of the physical materialism, sex, and things of that nature. So you have to make the decision, because they can only influence you by whispers and talk. And so the Native Americans say that everybody has a disagreeable wolf and an agreeable wolf in them. And whichever wolf you feed the most becomes stronger and starts to dominate your nature. So it's really about which ones you listen to. So you have to make you make the total decision on tipping the scale, yay or nay, and that's based on your desires. So even like if going back to the Islam, it said the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that his jinn, he made his jinn submit. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the angel and the demon on his sides, you got to make them bow down to your will. Right. But that stands in, like Mahatwi said, dealing with the principles of Wusabat and internalizing it and living it as best you can, building with brothers and sisters in the circles that's advocating and pushing to do the positive. And really in this world, it's about doing the corny stuff. It's about doing the love stuff, the care stuff, the knowledge, the wisdom, the activism, the taking care of. You see homeless people that's hungry, you go out there and you feed the people. You know what I'm saying? It's about going out there and doing it. All that corny stuff that they told us, oh, that's whack. That's what you got to do. All the stuff that's, oh, yo, this is cool. This is what you do. This is what you do. You know, like all that partying, bull crap, drinking and smoking. That stuff, all those things are to keep you null and keep you dumbed down, right? Because what we was talking about earlier, when you was talking about as far as accessing and activating certain principles, right? As far as the higher forces, right? These things don't just happen when we break through and become Ethereans. We have the ability to make matter move now. We have the ability to manifest our thoughts now, because everything that you see it came from the mind of somebody. Thoughts happen first. Baba said thoughts are tangible. He said they have weight. You see it? That's why you have the, you know, like the space, matter, and time, right? The smart circle. So you have the realm of thought where it's conceived, right? But it doesn't exist in the physical to occupy space and time until you do a prototype. So it's always advised, like my wife and I, we have the natural nature herbs, right? So when she's developing, we putting together products, we be like, look, let's just make one. Because once we make one, we make it occupy space and time, and now it's being calculated in this realm. We have to pull it from the realm of thought and make it, you know, and there's different practices and disciplines. Like you have people that have vision boards. You can create a vision board because it gives you focus, something to concentrate on. You see what I'm saying? To make your thoughts manifest, because the energies are there waiting for you. And one of the things that the adversaries do, the adversaries are into keeping our thoughts discombobulated, keeping us distracted, keeping us infected with all kinds of foolishness and conflicts. And then we feed 6 ether forces that now eat up on our energies and keep us off teeter and out of tune, and we can't focus and manifest our thoughts the way we need to. So just to add on to what the Elder God was talking about.
And understanding too that the thoughts are from the mind, M-I-N-D, right? And M-I-N-D is M-I-N-E. And M-I-N-E, once again, relates to those beings in your DNA, because the thoughts and the creative process can only be there based upon what's actually in us and in those cells, glands, chemicals, so forth and so on.
Mind your mind for the jewels of your soul.
Yeah.
And think about that mind, like digging your mind for the jewels of your soul. And each one of our minds is really, that we claim as our mind, how Baba say, you're connected. That's your connection to the oversoul, the universal mind.
Right.
You know, and the higher you vibrate, the higher the frequency you go on, the more impressions you get from the universal mind. You know, and the more you activate those things, the more frequent it becomes. And so the master is totally in tune with the universal mind. I gave examples before of a Mukasu named Edgar Casey. If you look him up, he's called the sleeping prophet. He was able to tap into the universal mind when he went into the subconscious state.
Tesla also, Tesla.
You know what I'm saying? So you got people that they know is confirmed that tap in to basically to the universal hard drive, and it's downloaded into this realm. And Baba does it at will, right? And we're looking to raise ourselves up to have to do it at will.
Ooh, I got something. I want to ask because
Round back, Newbie. What's up, God? Yeah, I'm listening.
Based off what because I had an understanding because where I came from in the school I thought I came from, you know, the what was taught to me or the understanding to me was, and I just want to see how relevant this is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If it isn't, I'm throwing it out the window. But what I was taught to me is that stepping on the earth, connecting to nature, is like it was taught like it was the motherboard. So you would see like the earth is a grid. It would be the motherboard, which directly reflects and connects to the sun. You feel what I'm saying? So as melanated people and us having melanin, we harnessing the solar rays, we harnessing the sun is what activates genetic DNA inside of us for us to be able to tap into the 9 mind or the 720 mind, which we need to vibrate to in order for us to harness and understand certain frequencies and thought, because it's coming from, you know, the outer realms, it's coming from the cosmos. So to tap into the cosmos, we have to tap in directly to the nature, you know what I'm saying, like directly connected to the earth.
Okay,
I'm gonna give you an example of that.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give you an example of that. You know why in Africa we play the drums? It's because we're harnessing that earth magnetic field. You know, that's what it's all about. A drum is skin and wood, right? So it's tied into genetics too. If you notice when somebody's drumming, it just brings all people together of the same type, you know, depending on the type of rhythm. Well, that's how important electric magnetic field on Earth is connected to the sun, because it's just funneled down, you know, to the different energy centers. So the Earth magnetic field. So if I go play something like this, right? That's from the Congo, right? If you're not connected genetically, you ain't gonna feel that, right? But now if you're here for America and I go,
got the drums out now.
you're gonna vibe with that one. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So that's the earth magnetic field. That's why Step and Feel from James Brown had that feel that. And James Brown knew this because he was Sons of the Green Light too. James Brown, I remember.
Okay.
And
I knew his son. His son was a part of this with the joint too. His son was being
James Brown was in the Sons of the Green Light when he lived out in Queens. And so if you notice the drummer, he was on the one, boom, boom, on the one, boom, boom, boom. You know, so that's a way of connecting with the earth magnetic field. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important. You know, that is very, very important, and that's connected with the sun because you know the earth. You know, as it funnels down and it sets in the earth, and it gives you a magnetic, what they call magnetic magic, electromagnetic. You know,
charge,
and it's tied into your genetics, what they call the genetic blueprints and ancestral patterns. It's tied in. You know what I'm saying?
So that my tweet. I don't go ahead, girl.
And what happens too in nature? Remember, there's the 1 2, the 1 2 5, the 1 2 6 7 and 8, which is H1, H2, C6, N7. And O8. At the center is carbon, and the word carbon means black. So the dirt itself is black by nature. It has carbon in it. And then when you look at the grass is green. And green represents the gases in the atmosphere, which makes the sun look blue. And then the sun is represented as gold or yellow. So yellow plus blue is green. So once again, it all goes into being tied into the sun, because remember, the planet Earth was birthed from the sun. You understand where I'm coming from? So the natural nature aspect, or the nine ball, is actually pare. Um, it's called Malachi. What's it? Is it Malachi? Psalms 82 verse 6. Malachi chapter 4 verse 1 to 12. The sun. They call it shemesh, right? So what happens is your DNA, your melanin, the planet Earth came from the sun. You understand where I'm coming from? All cells, all organs, all organisms, water, it all came from the sun. So that's
Right.
like because remember, the sun sends off electromagnetic impulses.
Frequencies.
So when the brother played the drum, those are what you call impulses, or a rhythm, which is now going out into sound and tone and vibration. You understand where I'm coming from? Once you're dealing with that, you know what I'm saying, and you start to you start to deal with, pardon me, you start to deal with something called movement and a rhythm, and how your heart beats and breath. All because remember, in the quantity, there's a assimilation between wind, water, earth, and sun. You are as warm as the sand or as hot as the sun. You breathe in, you have sweat as water, and you are like the earth, right? Those four elements create the mother, the daughter, the sister, and the feminine. Those four things create the masculine, the brother, the son, and whatever other, you know what I'm saying, masculine he can be. So your whole existence is pre-programmed in tune with nature, with Almighty Mother Nature, or Fatir al Fatir, natural nature, right? You are an actual DNA program that goes back now into the book called Man from Planet Risk. When Baba said the question we're gonna first start off with is going to be about DNA, right? So your DNA is programmed with all these different things, this technology. You were programmed with it. When you came into this realm, from whatever state, you were programmed, and that's how you tie in based upon the DNA programming. And then we become what we are, because in the bulletin written in 1993, Bible said that when we were in the womb, an Elohim, which we now know is a Nathar, spoke into the womb, and that being stayed with us for the rest of our lives. And that's why we are where we are right now, and we carry these names.
So let me add on to so what you start off with, you're talking about like earthing or grounding.
Yeah.
You know, when you say you have your bare foot on the earth, and your antenna on your head in the sun, and you know you can add on the water. And the thing is, like, remember your north and south pole and your pores of your feet. You have to be careful. So if you're doing things like that, you have to be on land as like yours. You know what's inside the dirt. You know what's there, because you can absorb, any kind of like diseases, germs, energies, entities through the pores of your feet into your body. So you need to be controlling that area that you're putting your feet on. Not like, everybody's getting into this, this nature thing. And they're getting it. They say ancestral, they say African, but they're really following the Wiccan and Celtic route.
That's a fact.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it looks similar, even with the Egyptian stuff, because because of the Hikakasut, they invaded and they perverted. They perverted the Egyptian way. The master told us, he even told us, don't even wear sandals no more, because of how exposed and how vulnerable your feet being open makes your body.
Remember that.
Yeah. He says they make, so that the way that we get in tune is through the FAC.
Fact.
That's the master gave. He gave us the fact. He said the F major. I have a book here called Our Tones, Wavelength A. It's called Wavelength A, Our Tones. There's a few ones. There's another one that's called with tones, molecules, DNA, earth tone. That's an actual fact. That's another one. But specifically, he's saying the F major. I'm gonna read it from here. And he mentions an instrument called the harmonium. that gives you natural tones, because this is what we need to do to get in tune. Excuse me. We need to I just had it on the page. Hold on one second. So the FAC is what we're looking for. The three together. I read it the other night. The F note is the planet Earth's tone. The F note is planet Earth's tone. The A is the body, your physical tone. All right. And then the C note is natural nature or the cosmos. He explains. So he says, know as the C major for this universe, right? He says, okay, so Nuwapians, you have residence, your own personal field in your yakasat, your genes, yakasat, and resonate. Resound or the sounds, Munwapu, known as C major for the universe, F major for the planet, and A major for your physical body. Vibrating on resonant frequencies played at once creates harmony in your hormones. You understand? So these three put together, you see, so you got the F, which is dealing with, I want to make sure I'm saying it right. The F major, right? I lost my spot. Hold up, I lost my spot. So the F major, which is the universe. No, excuse me. The F major is for the planet. So that's the F, right? Mm-hmm. The A major is for your physical. That's your body. And the way that you in tune, you get a tuning. He said a tuning fork. The tuning fork was the tet or the teat, which is the tuning fork for the key of A. Because originally the Patahites, Ethiopian Cushites, or the Sands people, they were perfectly in tune, or their measurements and creative, their body, their ears, everything was in proportion to get their frequencies right in order for them to transition, to transmutate, and to get out of this world and transform to Ethereum back to physical. They were perfected like that. We're out of our perfected state, so we have to be recalibrated. And that's what all these spiritual rituals and stuff, the language, the doctrine is to recalibrate us. It's quantum surgery being done from the molecular structure on outward. You see what I'm saying? Because what we got to do, he's activating the Nadar inside of our DNA to come to the surface, where the Mukasu or the European, they're trying to activate the Mukasu, the Pleiadian, and the Anunnaki that's inside of our DNA. Because if they're activated, then they become the voices that's narrating inside your mind from the 4 generations. But if the Nadar is activated, they become the guiding force. So the way we approach it is through the sounds, through the tones, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, which are 8 different dimensions that change depending on whether it's Aboriginal, Javadu, or Nagalu, or Asians. They have the same scale, but it's different. Ours is different. Our unified factor, the master said the unified factor is the drum, which keeps us in harmony. All of us utilize the drum. But the Mukasu never gets in harmony because his hormones is off, because the Pleiadians that mixed in with him mixed him with canines, porcines, and the simian. And so he's only 1/4 human. So he can't get in tune because he doesn't have the soul to latch on. See what I'm saying?
That's wild, because that's what they when we were enslaved in 400 years of slavery, they used to call us 1/4 human. It's like they reversed a lot of things on us. You feel
everything was that's the spell. The spell is reversing. This technology is. I was saying the other day how they say not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. That was the hip hop. So the spell. When Bible started teaching about the spell, I said, "Damn, that's what they've been teaching us forever." Like if you going to do the what's right, they like, "Yo, son, you a punk. You should have punched that dude in his face. Why you went over there talking to him, and now you're acting like y'all buddy? Well, why not? You know what I'm saying? We got the world going to war with us. Why should we go to war with each other? We got to heal our people. You know what I'm saying? We have to
clean
heal
ourselves from the inside, too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you got to get into get those books. I read this the other day. I read parts of it. You could go to the Mafkuzet. We have a class. We did the Mafkuzet. I literally read the book on a joint and Pabananu, and was explaining all the different tones and all that. Like. And get those books. Matter of fact, anybody that has any links to any bookstores, any address to any bookstores, or just mention the bookstores in the chat room, because his brothers and sisters is asking about books and where to get books from. any websites, anything. If y'all can mention it, please. I don't know it offhand, and I can't find my catalog. You know, but this is another joint right here. This is the secret tone. This is the one I read the other day. This is the secret tone, the secret of tones, and the mafkuzet, the elixir of life.
I was just reading that.
Yeah, I literally read it. I read it from cover to cover the other day.
Yes.
Like,
I got it right
because sometimes we gotta, sometimes we read it. Yeah, that's excellent. Because sometimes you gotta, because people talk about it so much, but they don't know what we talk about. They don't read it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Go ahead. You know, that's and just to give you a little backdrop, that's one of the main reasons why I was asked to come into the Ansar community. That the master teacher himself asked me to come to the community was because I was an NYU student and I was a music technology major and I wanted to become an acoustical engineer. And so our discussions, I was inside all the time at the food stand, was about the tones and frequency. You know, he was learning a lot of tones and frequency with what they call tawheed in Arabic, the tones, and they have different levels of reciting the Quran. And he was working with that, and he'll come back to me, and we had a lot of discussions on that, which later on, maybe I can discuss some of the stuff, you know what I'm saying, to share with people about, you know, the tones and frequencies, which is very important to how we resonate, you know what I'm saying, but that's, you know, just to give you
that's what it's about. Everything is tone and frequency, and they're disrupting. Matter of fact, you master the music. Baba explained how, like, the one reason how they threw the hip hop world out, they threw the music world out, is because they sped the music up with the Trans Euro Express.
Yes,
the Trans Euro Express. You know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine? Just
if you go look it up. Go look it up.
Can you imagine this? Now, I'm in high school. I think Trans Euro Express came when I was in high school. And so we're in a party and we're dealing with, you know, we're dancing at that time with disco. We're having a party. All of a sudden the DJ put on this thing and go, and we're looking at each other like, what the hell is
that?
This?
Yeah.
Dance to that. But you know, later, you know how people is. Later on, we adapt, and that's when the robot came out. People, Michael Jackson, people dancing the robot.
Because it was the electric tones. They was getting away from real instruments. It's what gave birth to the studios inside the house. Because you didn't need any instruments anymore.
Well,
everything was synthesized.
House, but yeah.
You know, but now everything was synthesized. You didn't have to you got instruments. Your studio is like instruments for the most part. You know, so and recording instruments being played, where everything now was computerized and digital, and it wasn't real music. And then they were able to trap, like they was able to trap the spirits inside those tones, because when they put in those studios together, a lot of those artists were witches and warlocks. And Satan worshippers, and they prayed to certain demons, and they prayed for their records to sell. Even the music that they talk, like the Beatles, their albums are like witch albums.
Oh, that's
they
good.
They got their own language.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Rock.
You know, Baba saved me. Baba saved me because when I was at NYU, I was there with Rick Rubin. So, you know, before Rick Rubin was just a DJ. And before he did Def Jam Records.
That's one of the founders of Def Jam. That's right.
Founders of Def Jam. So I used to go to his dorm a lot, you know. But yeah, they were into some creepy shit, you know, into some creepy.
It's their way. It's their natural way, bro. Like I did a video called. I did a class called. I'm gonna upload it on a page. It's called "White Women in Witchcraft," and you can find it on the Revision Radio Facebook page. And it's like 2-3 hours, but I literally put a clip of the whole process and ritual that they went through when they went to the when they would develop the masters, and they put the masters in a temple, a shrine, and they would pray and have a ceremony for certain demons to incarnate, so that everywhere the record went, those demons will be there, you know, around those people.
That's interesting because that's interesting because I work with Bruce Sweden. You know Bruce Sweden was? He passed away. Bruce Sweden was the engineer for Quincy Jones.
Okay.
And so I went to his studio in Akala, you know, and it was strange because I did the bongos for Michael Bublé, one of his songs. So I'm recording. So then they invited me to this office. And the masters of Michael Jackson, I held it in my hand for Thriller. This man's got the 2-inch masters.
Wow.
Because the actual masters are 4-inch, and then from 4-inch, I put it to 2-inch. He had the 2-inch masters to Thriller. You know, that's how, you know, and I was seeing his office, but I found out later that he was into the whole Nazi, you know, his wife was into the whole Nazi, you know, thought, you know.
And the Nazis were
school.
chasing all of the different
They went
relics
to witchcraft,
to give them power. And they overstood, you know, those what they call occultist knowledge and things of that nature. So the music is very important because the language, that's why the spell of English is a spell. I speak on that, and then there's a specific English teacher that speak on the science of the spell of words. I'm gonna put her link up there soon also, and they explain like so the English language is a spell. A lot of the musicians speak witches language, witches tongue, so the words sound English, but they have different meanings. The legalese,
turn the record backwards.
In the courts, they have their own language. You think it's English, that's why a lot of us get caught up, but they're speaking a whole language. That's why you have a legal dictionary, because they're speaking a different language when you go up inside the courts. Like the word, like the word understand literally means to stand under another jurisdiction. So when the judges ask you, do you understand what I'm saying? And you say yes, you just submit it to their jurisdiction. So anything argument you put after that is null and void, because she already asked you, he or she asked you, do you stand under my authority? Basically, anything I say is that, are you willing to accept it? And you're saying yeah, but we don't know because we speak in a different language. You know,
we don't know about the Black Law Dictionary. You know,
and that's what I'm saying. And now, right now, the LGBTQ, they have their own language that was developed in the 80s. The gays back then, well, I don't want to be, you know, but they back then, they developed a dictionary of over 13,000 words with their own meaning.
Wow.
And so when they speaking, they're speaking double talk.
Yeah, double talk.
You don't know it because you hear English, but it's something else going on. You know, so that's why Bible, like, you got to get into the origin and etymology of the words and the language, and that's how you could dispel the spell, because the trick is in the language. You know what I'm saying?
We got our language.
I want to bring up something too.
Our language is it's powerful.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that our Lahaj Noon, our language is powerful.
There was a name in music I want to bring up too. The name is Phil Spector. What type of name is that?
Spector. The Spector. Check out the name, the Spector.
Yeah, that's real.
Phil Spector was very groundbreaking. They used him. The Beatles used him a lot. You know, John Lennon used his. You know, because he had, you know, he was an engineer, and so he studied. That's what I was studying, to be acoustical engineering also. So he made studios. He was able to acoustically make a studio and put the right equipment there to get certain sound. So Phil Spector was very, very groundbreaking when it came to his. He had a unique sound. But yeah, they did a lot of, you know, in Hollywood. You got these certain circles they get around, and they got their practice, their rituals, and their practice.
And remember,
I walked in on a lot of that stuff, man, and it scared the shit out of me. I had to be like, yo, I ain't
that's
down
what
with
it's
this,
like,
bro.
It's crazy because you know what it is. It's like that's what I feel like when I used to, like, when I was in the club one time, when I was in there. It's like when a track was played, it's like a program. It's like instructions to like wake people's cells up and like move in a certain way. That's why, like, when some of that music comes on, like I think in one of Baba's book I was reading, it was I think it was called Tones, Molecule, or
go back to that book. Read that book again.
Book.
That's excellent. Read that book again. That's right.
Yeah.
That's the one. He was talking about how tones moves.
The club scene was just one big breeding ground. You know what I'm saying? You went to the club to get and I think Baba spoke about that in some of the audio, the Ma'at audio. And he talked about when, you know, the one with the baddest car, the one with the drip, you know what I'm saying? The one, you know, when I was buying the drinks, and that he's the one that walked away with the girl, you know, his woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a breeding ground. The club.
But what's a club? A club, Baba said a club is beating you over the head.
Yeah.
And I remember the 90s, I was going to the club with the Jamaicans. I was in the, and so we were sitting on the speakers.
Yeah.
In the club.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what that was doing to our bodies. And we sitting there trying to talk to each other, sitting on the speakers. But you
got to be careful too when you go to clubs. I remember, and now the clubs, concerts too. I went to a Depeche. I was working at Radio City Music Hall. And I know Radio City Music Hall. I worked there as an usher. And then I started playing there, you know, with the orchestra,
Word.
Christmas show. But in Radio City Music Hall, I went to see Depeche Mode. I couldn't even walk in with the orchestra level because the bass, it's like my heart wanted to pop out of my body.
It's real. You gotta be
Same thing with my
careful.
buddy in Living Color, the black rock group, the Tom Reed. That's one of my buddies. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And we played together at the Hollywood Bowl back then at the Jazz Fest, where Bill Cosby was hosting it, and them too. Man, they got on stage. It was like overpowering, man. You know, those tones, frequency are meant to do that, to disrupt your inner body.
And don't forget, Baba said that the bass, pardon me, the bass is the same sound that comes from a microwave when you put food in the microwave to cook. The same frequency.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You learn something every day.
I never thought of that.
He said the bass actually cooks your brain the same way how the heat is generated, because remember, once that music comes on and we start to move, that creates friction and heat. He said that's what happens with the bass. The bass is the
I love
same.
808 bass, man. I love that 808.
No, we know it, but it's specifically in the headphones, because he's like it's going because your brain is stuck between, and it's in the waves are shooting back just like the microwave, and it's cooking the meat. Yeah. But I wanted to also add on the brother, like, remember they used to teach us that music soothes the savage beast, right? That was something they said back in the days we were taught. Music soothes the savage beast. But in the flip side, that means also music activates the savage beast. And a lot of times when brothers is in the street, before they go to do anything devilish, here's what they got to do. They got to drink,
revel up,
they got to drug, and they got to put music on as a soundtrack to get them in a state of mind to be other than their natural self. So it's not who we really are. You see what I'm saying? So they use music. They have weaponized music, and that's the reality.
You know, that's interesting. They use that for Noriega, and Pops even spoke about that when he in Panama, when they were coming after him. So he went into a church, a Catholic church inside, and so the military, in order to draw him out because it was sovereignty, it was land, and they couldn't touch him, they play rock music.
That's a CIA. That's a CIA terror
and
tactic.
drew him out. He couldn't stand it no more. He came out, and that's how he got arrested.
That's a CIA torture tactic. That's something that they did to Baba when they had him in custody.
Wow.
That's one of those things that they was doing to him to keep the sleep deprivation. So when they gave that illegal plea, when you see that, he was held and transported back to back from different spots, and then and kept up, not giving food and water, and that's why he was so shuffled. And then they presented him, and he didn't know where he was, what was going on. After they was torturing him like that, that was his first time coming up from being transported back and forth to different places, playing music on a regular basis. They was doing this to him. This is a regular torture tactic that they do.
You know, going back on music, the word muse is
muse. That's right.
Muse, amusement park, museum. These are places that appeals to your pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And it calms and it soothes you. It could soothe you, or it can become very detrimental to you. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. That's real. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So should we should I be getting, like, because I'm thinking, like, you know, based off what y'all said, like, I should really get myself a drum, you know what I'm saying, like an African drum, and just, you know,
always
what I'm saying,
recommend that. Yes.
Yeah.
You should every
drum,
black family, every Sabian, every black family should have a drum or djembe in their household.
I agree with that. I agree with that 1,000%. Absolutely. You know, but the master said we all should learn how to play instruments.
Yes, we should.
Word.
Oh yeah. A fact.
He said that as a tribe, it's a requirement.
Yeah.
It's a requirement. We need to learn how to play instruments, and we got to start studying the Lahaj.
Right.
You know,
music, when you study music, especially for a child, it develops their logical mind. Because when you deal with music, you're dealing with tones, but you're also dealing with mathematics. And then with the harmonies, you're dealing with logic, because certain tones vibrate with other tones. That's called harmony. You know what I'm saying? You know, you minor keys, you got major keys, you got augmented, you got diminished keys, you got all these different keys. So and then you got progressions within these keys, and they gotta fit in order. So it teaches you to be logical about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? and
real.
and it has rhythm, it has timing, you know,
Mhm.
and then it has the melody, it has a tone. So it's very important to develop the mind like that through
That's
through
smart.
tone, you know.
That's because I was a percussionist, and like you said, like a fellow percussionist. That's what I used to do when I was growing up. Like I was
Nice.
always doing like the percussion. But the thing about it is, I couldn't really read sheet music. You know what I mean with the percussions, but I was always good at like coming up with beats and just what I'm saying
Nice.
freestyling. You know.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
so that's something that I like to do. On an off time. Or really now you made me think about it. Like
The best musicians that I play with didn't read music at all. They don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a tactic a lot of times for people to control a room. They want you to. It's crazy because when I've learned how to read and write, I learned how to read and write music. Music, like he says, music, math, computers, language, all go in the same spectrum.
Oh yeah.
All go in the same spectrum. I would advise anybody to go look at the movies Hidden Figures with Taraji P. Henson, where they was explaining how the sisters were the first computers. The sisters were used as computers.
Yes.
And they had their own language. They had to figure out computations that didn't exist in order for the govern the space program.
Right.
And another movie to look at is Arrival. And Arrival deals with the language of time. That's what Bob is trying to get us with. Once we learn the language upon the thought, we now start to experience reality how they experience reality. And we're not caught up in and stuck and trapped within this space-time continuum because now we're in tune with them. And we move according to their time and they're eternal. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, most of your spiritual masters were musicians. You could take it all the way back to Sheikh Daoud was a Juilliard master violinist for the Philharmonic. You know what I'm saying? And then also the brother that people are calling Afro Uno is not Afro Uno. He was just a student of Afro Uno, and now there is word out there that the actual Afro Uno was Ahmed Abdul Malik, who came from Sudan, was a bassist. Because at that time, when he came, he was a friend of Sheikh Daoud. The musicians started going into, a lot of Sudanese musicians came over and started to teach. They played jazz in the club and started to spit that doctrine. So then you have guys like John Coltrane changing his name. You got Thelonious Monk. All these brothers started changing their names to Islamic names. You know what I'm saying, at that time. So our doctrine morphed out of that. Out of the Sheikh Daoud, who gave us a charter in 1970. I believe it was 1970. Yeah, the charter came by him to create the Ansarullah University.
Yeah, you threw that name out there. That's a whole big subject matter. You can't just do it. No. Talk about the Afro Uno and Ahmed Sheikh. No, that's what I'm saying, because that's the first time anybody threw that in the equation. We know that Nubi Ripu, the brother Johnny Eugene, has stated himself that he wasn't Afro Uno and he wasn't Amanubi de Akuta. He said it himself.
No.
And the brothers that are now desecrating his memory, they're lying on him in order for them to fit in and create their own revenue stream. So that's really sad.
He used to come by the Ansarullah community. A lot of time he just wore his jalabia. He didn't even wear a head gear, to be honest with you. And he always used to look at me. I had a lot of brothers come to me and speak with me all the time because I was at the fruit stand. Saeed Sadiq, the brother from the Spinners, Felipe Wynn, my brother, love that brother who passed away. So a lot of the artists came to me and we would speak because I was at the fruit stand. You couldn't help, but when you go through under the tent, you gotta I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So I remember him coming down. He was from New Jersey. New Jersey, and I think he used to speak a lot with the brother Batin, and he spoke about that. And he was just a student. He was reading the doctrine. He was just a student, but he came across those because when you look at the nature, it's written in a format. When you study templates or different format, like research papers, it's written in that template of a physics research. And so the brother Afro Uno says it in that doctrine. I don't want to go too far into that. But anyway, he says that he's from Sudan. And the only brother from Sudan at that time
was Baba.
Yeah, it was Baba and also Malik Ahmed Abdul Malik. Check him out.
Yeah, we got to look. Like I said, you throwing him into the equation.
I got the documents, bro. I got the facts.
Okay, well, we're gonna have a day. We're gonna have that as a day where you, the brother Petty, right? Because he has a whole breakdown of Afro Uno, because he also recognize. You know, listen again. We have the recordings of Nubi Ripu, aka Johnny Eugene, and he's saying that he's not Afro Uno. He's saying he's not Amanubi Ragbata. I don't understand what the conflict is with these people. But whatever.
Abi Yaya, may rest in peace. He wants to know about Abi Yaya and myself. We sent our master teacher the Nature book 1 and 2. We the one that sent it to him. It was through my brother Jamal gave it to Abi Yaya.
What's that in like 90? What's that? What point?
That was in that was, I would say, about, he received that in, let me see, probably like the late 90s and early 2000s.
Because it came out
after 2000, because he was arrested in 2001.
No, because he
was jail.
Because I was saying because it wasn't produced until 93.
Right. It was published.
Came out in 93.
92 or 93.
Yeah, that came out in 93. Right. So that makes sense.
But people was already speaking about that since the 40s and 50s and 60s.
No, they get the 60s, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we know with like another thing that like with the brothers have been coming on, the brother Asar, the brother E King, you know, we have research teams. And brothers is compiling documentation and books, researching books in other languages and other cultures, confirming the doctrine of Amanubi Akata. You know what I'm saying? Confirming that.
You can also read the liner notes. A lot of the albums have a lot of information.
You know what? I spoke to God up. He done jumped in. We're gonna put him in right now, right on time. Yeah, we're gonna put it right on time because the God just start speaking. Because we start talking about that nature of nature. That's our science, and it goes back. Bible was the first one I'm talking about in the 60s. And now
Bible interpretation, I believe it was.
Bible interpretation explanation. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And the brothers have now discovered how it goes back to 850 and 9.
He got that from the Sheikh Daoud school and the musicians like Ahmed Abdul Malik.
Well, that makes sense because it was through the Sufi order that a lot of things was kept sacred.
Yeah.
Hold up, God, introduce yourself. Let's go to the people. What's up, E King? What's going on, Rahul? Yeah, we good, man. Anuki Tayu.
Sapur. You said something about Sheikh Dawood, right?
Sheikh Dawood.
You said the nature of nature was coming from Sheikh Dawood?
No, that didn't come from Sheikh Dawood. The nature, they're saying there is I would say there's evidence now. There's following the stream that it came from one of his students was Ahmed Abdul Malik, a musician, a bass player. Because Sheikh Dawood was from Juilliard, was a violinist, so he had acquaintance with.
Can you share that with me? Can you share that line of reasoning?
Hold on. No. We ain't gonna do that tonight.
No, not tonight.
Another time. I'll tell you what. I'll do a presentation.
Give him my contact, Pharaoh.
I'll do a presentation with the brother here, and we'll bring up.
With the brother E King and the brother Petty.
Yeah, and I'll bring
that subject matter.
Yeah.
We definitely gonna straighten that out. That's
another vein, because a lot of our doctrine. Remember. Our master teacher was young, he's getting a lot of teaching from his mother. He was getting a lot of teaching from Sheikh Dawood and from Wentworth, Rabbi Wentworth. He was getting information on, but so he had, this is experience, this is exposure. So yeah, the nature goes way back, and then it was produced, because you can always have doctrine, mouth to ear. You know how we do it in the crowd? Mouth to ear. You can all speak in coffee houses, speak and all that. Then later on, somebody's going to come and say, okay, let me write this. Let me document this down. Let me write it down. So these conversations came from, way back. These conversations amongst musicians.
I'm going to pass the information. I'm going to pass your E-King's information on to you. Yeah. I'm going to email you the information so y'all can build. What's up, God? What you want to build on?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
yeah, we've been up here. You've been in the backlog checking everything out. What's up?
Oh no, I just heard the words Alpha Umi and nature,
Yeah,
and
that is. You know what that is.
and I
Well,
want to be
give me some of what you got.
I want to be the first to say, right, that stuff is older than 1963.
Go
Right,
ahead.
the terminology nature of nature goes back to the Sufi brotherhood, the Ikhwan el Safa, right, that lived in Baghdad, Sudan,
Yes. You hit it on
Ethiopia.
point, brother.
You know what I mean? So
It's
yeah, that stuff
physics.
is
It's
way.
physics. When you read a nature, you're reading a physics. You're reading about physics. I have it. I have the nature book.
But my thing is
But
this,
when
though, Sabor. This is my thing, right? This is where it gets cloudy, right?
Cloudy.
My thing is this, right? Why wasn't the reference ever given?
What was it? What?
Why wasn't the reference, right? Why wasn't the reference ever given for the Tabiat el Tabiat, the nature of nature? Why wasn't the historical reference ever given? I got the historical reference going back 1600 BCE. I got it in my closet right now.
Right. Well,
You know
remember,
what I mean? And that's my issue. That's my issue with those books. They never give the reference, the historical reference. So when you read it, when you read it, it's like looking at a tree with no roots.
Right. Because a lot of it came out of conversations. And it's hard. Conversations, you had to be there. You maybe got the reference to where, where it came by word from mouth to ear.
Not just that. Remember, it's also an introduction to the nature of nature, and it's not an academic book. Think about when it's circulating, the time frame. These are brothers that's trying to liberate themselves from European control and indoctrination. So it's not an academic book for references, bibliographies, and glossaries. When we talking about the lessons being the lessons of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam, Nation of Gods and Earths, the Moorish Science Temple. Those degrees is being circulated, and it fits more in that wavelength than an actual academic book.
Yeah, but brother, a lot of them brothers at work speaking that, having those conversations, were coming from academia. Because I
understand that.
Juilliard.
But that's as we switch codes, though. You switch codes when you go from that realm to the streets. Yeah. You switch codes and how you express
yourself. It didn't get to the
yourself.
streets about 93. Yeah.
Hey, Sabor, can I ask you a question?
That's true.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you connected with any of those musicians today?
No, Ahmed Abdul Malik is passed away. No, the only musicians that today are a lot of musicians, Florida, Latin music, and a lot of African musicians like Tobos Rubamba, who I'm about to do from the Congo, or Alobayo from Nigeria. So the musicians today, no, those musicians are gone, bro. You're talking about 30s and 40s. Ahmed Abdul Malik. I mean, you can go on YouTube and Google Ahmed Abdul Malik and see how. And this is back, I think, in the 50s. He recorded a album called East Meets West. And we know that as Ansar, it was like the East meeting the West. This was happening back then through Sheikh Daoud and even with Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah, we
So
definitely gonna have to unpack that.
We're gonna unpack that.
We gonna unpack that. That's a new name thrown in the ring.
And listen, before we are we gonna segue into the whole thing with the sister and
that really wasn't. Listen, we just chilling. This is just whatever it is. I mean, you can build on whatever you want to build on. I didn't come in here to talk about. I addressed what they were addressing, and my thing is to counter the foolishness and to straighten the story out. But go ahead, brother.
That when I came in '79, right? I was asked by the master teacher, to come in, and he knew that I was a student at NYU. So we were our setting around the Ansar Allah in Bushwick was a university setting.
Yes.
You had the music department. And we were that's before the Hall of Knowledge. We were building the Hall of Knowledge. I used to get up in the middle of the night and dig underneath those brownstones just to connect those buildings together. And so it was a university setting. You know what I'm saying? And the children. This is what I have to say. As I was there, I was at the fruit stand. So we built. At first it was a tent. At the tent of Kidar, it was a tent, and then we put the floor down for cement to roller skate. You know what I'm saying? So the kids used to go out there and play with their roller skates and stuff. What I noticed about a lot of the children, they're children. They're gonna do things. One thing I used to always get on Yadalahi, may rest in peace. Yadalahi, very, always speaking with me and close with me, and Abdul Noor. One thing they used to do with Jakub, is they used to make fun at him. Because children would be children. I had a lot of times, don't do that. Because they used to tell him, oh, Yakub, your head is so big, you can't fit through the masjid. You know how kids gonna be. Well, a lot of the sisters too, they always wanted to be with Panda. They always wanted to be working and left the children alone. That was a problem. It was university setting, but we had children, and it wasn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? And the children got too much. That's why I'm dying to have a conversation with the master teacher about this. They were left too much alone because a lot of sisters, they were so busy chasing something else that they left the children, and the children. So they went through.
And they out there playing with they doing their own thing.
So not everybody experienced, because you had a children that was raised up in the Ansar community that didn't experience traumatic experience, because you had mothers that care for them so much, that sheltered them. But then you had those that was traumatic. So when I hear a lot of these brothers and sisters that say, oh yeah, I grew up in the community and it was like this and we went through this, and yeah, that's what you went through. You're traumatized. You went through that because, somebody dropped the ball.
Now it's sad, but this is the reality. That school was a school of trials and tribulation.
True.
And unfortunately, like you say, we were trying to purge the first layer of this demonic system off of us.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the people were still mentally and spiritually sick. Yeah. They a lot of it's just that with the reality. And sometimes no matter how the system is created, people are going to slip through the cracks.
They're going to.
We do it in our own personal families. There's somebody that slipped through the cracks. There's like, yo, what happened to such and such? People going missing or whatever. Like people just not paying attention to them.
Brothers should be
caught up in whatever we caught up in. So I understand the idea, even with the guy that came on earlier talking about, the sisters hurt. I said that yesterday. The sisters hurt. But
she told me the story personally.
But she went to, now she's into like I said, burning down the village. She doesn't want healing. She wants to hurt now. So at the same time, we don't want to attack her, but we can't allow ourselves to be violated and hurt now because she's hurt. We have to protect ourselves, but we're also willing to, and the door is open for, to heal that situation.
How can we fix it? Ask the sister, how can we fix this?
But she has to talk to us. As far as she's concerned, the tribe is an abusive tribe as far as she's concerned, but she didn't even have any. Listen, I spoke to a brother that's been a part of the tribe for 30 years. At the time frame that was happening with her, he said this is the first time he ever heard it. So that confirms that everybody didn't know nothing about it. It was an isolated event with very few characters involved, and they kept it sealed amongst them. Nobody even knew about a lot of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? So
she revealed to me, I didn't know that they took her to Philadelphia, gave her a stack of money, and just left her in Philadelphia in the mosque with a stack of money. I didn't know that.
She didn't say that on the thing. She said that they dropped her off in Brooklyn at an abandoned house.
They gave her. She said she was, I think, young, 14, 15, with a stack of money.
But now here's the thing. We have to deal with, and I said this before about people's recollection. If you look at National Geographic Brain Games, is the National Geographic channel? There's a show. They have a show called Brain Games. One of the episodes of Brain Games, they were dealing with juries, right? The jury duty, right? And it was they staged a pickpocket in a park. They staged a pickpocket in the park, and then they asked the people that was around, "What did you see?" What color did he have on? What was it? What did he have boots? Did he have shoes? Was it a male? Was it a female? Did he have a jacket? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? And then they played everything back. And then they took it to a jury. They staged like a court case. And then they asked the juries, what did they see? What did they hear? What they was establishing is that memory from direct interaction is some of the worst testimony that you can have, because it's biased based on how you feel, what's going on, and what you lost, your desires. And then the longer it goes on, the more you start to cut and paste what you want the story to be as opposed to what it was.
That makes a lot of sense.
You see what I'm saying? This is why you got to have multiple witnesses in order to prove something, because if you just go by somebody's testimony, they could be like, you don't know what the dynamics is between them and what's going on.
Different lenses, man.
Exactly.
We see something different.
So what I'm saying is, when she's speaking, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not saying that nothing happened. Right. I'm saying, okay, sis, but you have 100 brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, cousins, and then the tribe, and it still ain't been handled. I came a little hard up because she was running all kinds of foolishness out of the store. So she didn't say that. She was having this heart to heart, but didn't expose her own dirt, which means that she's suspect. Now, again, not saying that nothing ain't happened, but we got to deal with it, because like I was saying to her, your father protected you. Once he knew what was happening, he made sure you was taken care of. Yeah. This is your time to take care of him. Yeah. And you're not doing that. And that's an issue. So, we listen, I don't even want to vibe on it like the system like that. That's not my I want us to I want positive energy, always create elevation, constantly moving forward, progress, more knowledge, wisdom, understanding, practice this language, push this wusabat, and that's really what it's about with me. So and that's another thing. The sister was never about the doctrine. She was Ansar to Allah. She was never Nuwapi. But she was never Nuwapi. She never accepted the doctrine. Right. A lot of Barbara's family, unfortunately, his blood family, they consider him a hustler, and they just benefiting off of the hustle, and they consider us blind, deaf, and dumb, just following him. But they following the religions of the Arabs and the Christians and the Mukasu, and they don't have a problem following that, but they laugh at him and downplay what he's teaching.
I had a lot of the young children, Baba's children, come to me and ask me questions about their father. They really couldn't understand their father. And I was like, yo, that's your father. What's there to understand? But, that's what happens, But
they got to try. You got to give them a shot. Because guess what? This is another thing. This is her father's life's work. You're not just attacking his tribe. You're trying to destroy his legacy. So how are you going to be received by him when you're attacking his life? He's sacrificing his life, his freedom for this doctrine, for this culture. And here it is, you pissing on him and in broad daylight to enemies and the people who have no love for you or us. Listen, let me read. I'm gonna read this from the Psalms of Yanun, the Pasamak in Yanun. This is Psalm 17. Let us Nuwapians of Wu Nuwap rejoice. I cry aloud to my Salafu ancestors. I lift up my voice in Ranum, chanting, and Namazu, prayer, to Panatharu, the overseers, for mercy. I pour out my complaints before you. Before you all, I tell you my troubles, when my Ba'a soul grows weak within me. It is you all who knows my way and the path where I walk. People have hidden obstacles in my path as the Nuwapian of Wu Nuwap. Look upon me, look inside me, for it seems no one is concerned about me. I have no refuge, no one cares for my life. I cry unto you, my Salafu ancestors. I say you are my refuge, my potion in this life of the living. Listen to my bouquet, my cry, for I am in desperate need. Rescue me from those who pursue me, for they are too strong in this world with their dominion for 6,000 Shamutat years. Their deception and offerings attack me. Set me free from my physical prison of temptations that I may praise your Renan at name and be ever thankful to you, that my example will show forth and the persons who need the truth will gather about me because of your gifts of salvation given to me by the Master Yanun, whom you sent as my warner and savior. Rejoice in being rescued. Yeah, so that's one of that's a tool for psychic self-defense and calling on the Panathar. The number's open. If you realize, like when we do the chants, the names that we use for Panathar is different from the Egyptologists because the master gave us the original tones back to reconnect with them. So I'm telling you, when you call, they're going to respond. And that's where we're at. Call, dial the number. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to respond. Don't be scared when they respond. We ain't got to do all that other stuff that people are doing because they're already in our demand, our blood. So we don't have to do all that. Those routes are from invaders and mukasus and religions that were taught to us to take us away from our original path. We don't need them no more. Wu Sabat is here. All right. So I'm about to close out. I gotta go to the recording studio tomorrow. I'm about to start doing, I do music too. Check me out on
pharaohrising.com. I know you nice. I know you nice with that.
Y'all ever heard that Dear Baba? That's me. I did that Dear Baba joint. That was my letter to the master, and they stopped the from getting mail. So I put it into a song. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say this, it's our time. You know what I'm saying? So if not this Wu Sabat, then what? You know what I mean? If not us, then who? And then if not when, you know what I'm saying? If not now, then when? So that's what I'm saying. Gabat Wu Ashuk to the family. I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody. The brother Atul Ray Bob, the brother Sabor, the brother Halif, the brother Mahatwi, the brother E King, Kafuz Tarif right back, Wadu the family, Bacardi Attack. Yeah, I appreciate everybody for showing, joining us. The sister, oh man. That was like heartbreaking. I'm gonna cry when I get off. You know what I'm saying? I'm on some soft. I'm looking at Grease. I don't care what nobody say. I'm about to watch Grease when I get off. Get that out my system. You know what I'm saying? That beauty school dropout joint is crazy, right? Ronald Newton. Oh, I shook. Yeah. Well, I do, beloved. I appreciate you, John Sine. Who else is up? And whoever joined us, Khalil Lowe, beloved. We gonna give you a group hug because I see you be going through it on the chat.
Oh yeah, my brother, man. Yeah.
Newbie Sine, sitting in Ferre. Appreciate you, brother, for coming through. Yeah. Kalal Low, you've been going in. I sent the link. He could have jumped on and just aired it out. Miss Infinity 9 and 10. Thank you, guys, for joining us. We appreciate you. We here to spread and replace y'all. George Bristol, any of y'all brothers, let me see. Let me go through this list, and then any of y'all brothers that have anything that y'all want to say. Kamos, Kahemet Ib, Wadu to you, beloved. Appreciate you, Rahotep Al. The brother from Jacksonville, he said, where did he get some books? Anybody put in the chat room any bookstores, any websites, any links for books, so the brother could snatch up some books. Please. And of
anybody
course,
in North Carolina, I have a spot, a bookstore they can come to. Big
Al, I see you, Hassan. Thank you for joining us. And Zoza, appreciate you for stopping in. Israel, thank you for stopping in. Tawakum, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, brother, for being here. Yeah, God, we here, man. And the fairest center tap you, I see you, mama. But y'all, it's good, God. We here, and we ain't going nowhere. We just looking to expand. Everybody tell 2 or 3 people come through. Tomorrow is Saturday night cipher. It's a Saturday super cipher. So we going in. We gonna go. I'm gonna have some subject matters. We gonna put it out there, and Gabat Wu Ashuk. That's right. That's that tone. You know what I mean? Peace and divine unconditional love to all the family worldwide. And Wu Sabat is the way. The master teacher, Panabab Yanun, Dr. Malachi Kubino Zadak York Okran, he's been sent for us to bring us together, to go into the future, literally to control the world. That's literally what it is, okay? It's our way, it's our time, and he's innocent of all accusations and charges, and we got to bring him home. All right, love y'all, beloved family.
All right, man.
Y'all what do? Y'all peace and blessings. Y'all be safe.
What do,
Wadu.
brother?
Excuse me. Reggae Sataparuki. Oh man.